Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Town Hall meeting. This is episode number 13, full NA, and I'm going to be joined by some of NA's finest today. So, going to introduce everybody as always. We've got INSUPERABLE. I don't know if this guy needs any introduction. I mean, he lost the bets with me, still wearing the effects on his head with those ridiculous blonde highlights. How you doing,
I'm
Sup?
getting out of control, man. This corona has gotten to me, man. And I think my hair is a good example of the impact of the virus in society. Yeah.
We've got Carsonnn, Dust League caster, Dust team. What are you, a manager, a coach, a spiritual guidance guy, like a guru?
I like to say cheerleader. Bidu calls me the coach, but I don't even know what I'm doing.
You might as well be
I'm
a team leader too.
Yeah, there we go. Team leader. How about that?
Yeah, that sounds good. Let us know, by the way, guys, in the chat if the sound levels are good, so I can adjust these on Discord at will. We've got CrunCher, your first time on the tunnel. Thank you for joining us. One of NA's best players, probably top 2 with Hitman, I guess we could say right now. Top 1 before Once Upon a Time in the
Yeah,
in the
before
Dust
Hitman got really good.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
Sosorryman, a human player as well from North America, one of the few guys that was victim of some of the desyncs in Anaheim. Maybe we're going to be talking a little bit about this. I had a very rough ruling to make in regards to that. How are you doing, Sosorryman? You're muted, my dude.
Push to talk, you.
I'm like, is he on me? Yeah.
Bidu did the same thing the first time he cast on back.
We just heard him earlier, no?
Yep.
Yeah, but he was on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
voice activity.
Yeah. I had a lot of problems with the desyncs and DreamHack, and then also I'm manager of Team Washed Up, like one of the other like North American teams. I think there's like 3 or 4 now, but like it feels like just Dust and like us, and maybe 1 or 2 Latin American teams. So
Yeah.
thanks for having me, though, Yad.
Yeah, welcome. Speaking of Team Washed Up, we got one of the newest members, Soulglider. This guy, like, you guys don't even know. This guy's my boy. All right, we were in China, like the WG season that I won in Hangzhou in 2006. He was there. We were hitting the club together. He's got some crazy dance moves. Also a human player from NA. How are you doing, Jason?
Yo, what's up, man? Dude, I don't think we've spoken on video for a really long time, but it's pretty good to be back and playing again. It's been a while. Dude, I miss Hangzhou. That was fun times.
Those were the wild
Insomnia. Oh my god.
We don't talk about that night.
Oh, that's true. What happens in Hangzhou stays in Hangzhou.
Okay, guys. So we got, as always, a whole bunch of topics that we're going to go through again today. And the first one of them, let me pull it up right there, is going to be... Where's my topic list? Oh my god, what happened? There it is. Reforged, as always. We always start with this. So once upon a time, this was... What did you think of Reforged launch? But we kind of exhausted that one and everybody kind of agrees.
Yeah.
So instead, we're going to focus more on the patch that just came out. I was actually outside for a little bit before I came back home and to get started with the show. But yeah, a patch just came out, guys. So I don't even think I would call this a patch, or that I should even read what's in it. It's just a bunch of visuals. There is like no ladder, there is no balance as far as I could see. I just kind of like browsed through it. What is your guys' thought on this patch? Carsonnn, maybe go first.
Fixed multiple crashes on custom games, such as Custom Hero Survival. Yeah, it's like they're fucking trolling us at this point, dude. Honestly, they don't give a shit. They don't respond on Twitter. They respond with, "We are trying our best." Just PR bullshit. What is this? This is some troll shit. How long has it been? Like 3 months? It's like honestly just like blatant lies. The whole thing. Like everything they announced at BlizzCon, just a blatant lie. It's insane. How do people get away with this? Like game companies, time and time again. How do they get away with this shit?
What?
It's unbelievable.
What are you
And
talking
now we
about?
got fucking Naga footprints again.
Oh, what are you talking
Again,
about?
there's
Female demon
footprints.
hunters scaled up too much closer with male demon hunter silhouettes. Are you not happy? Are you not
Unbelievable.
entertained?
That's crazy.
how are they getting away with this? How is this even like legal? Doing like lying this much? It's unbelievable. And it's been how long now? They said ladder after like a month, didn't they? A month after release. This might as well be fucking alpha still. Like, and why was the old game taken away for this, for a downgraded version that they're not even attempting to fix? It's unbelievable, man.
We're sorry you didn't have the patch you wanted. What do you think, Insup?
I don't know. I feel like it's just really bad, man. Just like the previous patches, you know, like every month we have like one of these big patches, and we always like expect them to give us what we want. And once again, it's like another disappointment. They fixed a visual for the reforged graphic that nobody uses, so like it's just like a waste of time once again. But hey, man, we have footprints, and now we can hear like animation when a Doomguard attacks. So I guess my $30 finally is worth it on this game that I spent. But yeah, man, I'm still disappointed, but I keep wishing, man. I think we should like maybe try to see like the positive in it, that Blizzard actually like still does patches maybe, but yeah,
What the fuck are you talking about? This ain't a patch. What do you mean Blizzard still does this is no patch?
I'm trying to see a little bit of positivity and negativity.
I don't care about your positivity. We need
hard.
to be outraged right now, like Carsonnn.
Yeah, I know, man.
Like what?
Podcast is about the drama. Come on, you gotta get mad and
Like if you read through this whole thing, what is affecting us? Like it feels like we're not really gonna notice any of this. Like what do you think, CrunCher?
It's pretty disgusting, honestly. I have no faith in Blizzard. I refunded Reforged like the second day it came out. There's absolutely no reason to believe them at all anymore. They lie about everything. They don't have the features they wanted, so I have zero faith in them, honestly. And anytime they lose a patch like this, all that I'm worried about is how much are they going to break? Not what they're going to fix, but what are they going to break this time? We know replays are broken. Current patch ladder is broken, so it's already a bad patch. And should read the second comment on this post as well. We scroll down a little bit.
Oh, let me look.
Oh, you just laughing my ass off?
There's CrunCher.
It was a good joke from them. I enjoyed it.
Sosorryman?
You know, when I was playing like a pad ladder game and like the little patch thing came up, you know, and I was like 10% of me got a little excited still, you know. I was like, oh man, you know, Blizzard's gonna like do it, you know. So you know, I waited for the download, and then when it finally happened, you know, again, I just like I said, I like saw the art at the top, and then I just kept scrolling down. I was like, okay, I don't care about this, I don't care, and then there was nothing more. So again, just really disappointed. I'm angry, but like, you know, like we can't really take our anger out on anything. It's just like a company that's, you know, just like a PR wall, like you said. So like, yeah, like CrunCher said, you know, I don't really have much faith that they're going to do this in any, you know, timely manner. They said they're going to do aggressive patching, but I think they just had to release this patch to like follow up with what they kind of said, like monthly patches. But I think the last patch was like 5 weeks ago already. So they kind of already like, you know, failed on that. So I'm just disappointed in general. You know, I'm happy that we do have the pad ladder if he can like get back to, you know, fixing it if it works. That's, I don't know, not much else to say.
Yeah. Soulglider?
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting for me because I work in the industry. And I can just see like the project manager doesn't know very much about the game, because this is really project management. Everything that happens is a cost. Like any art upgrade, it's all time. And like some of these have to be implemented by programmers, so they have some kind of resources to work on the game. So I know the problem is that with the project manager, because he's gotten resources to work on the game, and he's the one that every week or every month lays out the, you know, the roadmap and says, we're going to do this, this, and this. And somehow the value system that he's set for this team and this project is just not in line with the community. I'm guessing he's not very involved in the community. It might be a very junior person, which happens on projects like this, like classic projects at other companies. Very often is someone very junior that's hired that doesn't really know what they're doing. So like, I think if anybody that like works at Blizzard or like and can get in touch with this person or this team to like try to revamp the value system that he set and the roadmap that he set, like, because they obviously have some kind of resources. I think maybe that's better for enacting some kind of change on the team. I mean, obviously I don't like the patch. I think it makes no sense. And like, they're obviously going after new players. Like, it seems like people who might be playing Reforged and not looking at the community and the community that's already here. I mean, we get on Twitch like an insane amount of viewers sometimes. Like when Back to Warcraft is streaming, like even like you stay at home cup, it's like over 10K viewers. It's like they should be paying a little bit more attention to it. But the project manager needs to be the guy that's yelling at the top of his lungs within the company and really rallying the troops around the game and around the team. And I get to see that that's just not happening. I've been at many companies where my game had no resources. There was nothing I could do, it felt like.
Yeah.
But by pushing and pushing and pushing and just yelling and trying to get into as many meetings as I could, I can get more resources. I can get another programmer. I can get extra time. These things happen. It just really depends on who's at the helm.
But as someone who's worked for a gaming company, I guess you can probably enlighten us on this. They're never really likely to start communicating more on that, right? They're just gonna make their PR announcement and then release patches like this as they please.
Yeah, so I think they have a separate community team, like that's probably in line with their PR team, which happens at some companies where marketing and community are on one side and product is on a different side. I don't like that setup. I think it makes more sense if community is under the product team, and so the project manager is communicating directly with with gamers, with players, with the user base, which happens at like Riot, and that's why you see a lot more communication going on there. But at Blizzard, I'm pretty sure that the community team is under the marketing team, so they're not going to be on the same page at all.
Yeah, by the way, guys, the webcam frames are a little bit funny, I think, with the thing that we use. So if you guys want to adjust them yourselves, like I see like CrunCher, like you're almost completely in the corner of your webcam. I think that might be a little bit more aesthetic.
How do I?
Carsonnn is completely the other way as well. Like you guys are like social distancing, like far away from home on the tunnel. Like this is next level.
You want me to sound?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better.
Oh, yeah.
Like right here, yeah.
I got you, brother. I got you.
Sosorryman, do you guys have any expectations at this point from Blizzard? Like, what do you think is going to be happening in for the rest of this year or maybe next year?
To be honest, like the way like this, like I think like Soulglider said, like the priority is on fixing the campaign right now, and or not fixing it but just finishing it. Like I've been playing through the campaign myself recently, and it's looking a lot better. Like the models are good. I think that's where they're focusing right now. Like you said, like the project manager's kind of saying, hey, if we fix the campaign, maybe like more people will want to play to make more money. So I think like we're looking at ladder like way down the road. I mean, it looks like they're only having like 1 or 2 people work on it, so it's probably ladder's not coming, clans, profiles. I think like I was talking with my friends, and they think like even those skins, like they have those grayed out skins for like the other heroes like in the collection. Like I think those will come out even before like the ladder comes out. They're like, oh yeah, if you don't like how the paladin looks in reforge, here, buy this new skin, first, and then finally when the ladder comes out, you can like use it or something. So I think it's like pretty far off actually. Yeah. So I don't want to get my hopes up. Even like I said, every time the patch comes out, I get a little excited, but I'm like sad again. So.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. It's like they're trying to fix what they think will make them money, like the campaign and like the reforge graphics and stuff, and they're just like beating a dead horse pretty much, trying to continuously fix it, even though everyone already hates the reforge graphics. Well, at least everyone that, is streaming and playing the game.
They don't have like any way to make money because they didn't release skins to buy.
Yeah.
They could release skins so they can make money and like fund either themselves or tournaments or something like StarCraft 2 did.
Yeah, I'd be
I don't
fine
think they
with
even
that.
made the skins yet, man. That's the problem. Like, it's not even there.
Do you guys think we're gonna get any balance changes eventually?
Probably not.
I don't think so.
I don't.
Just.
I mean, I kind of hope not, because like, what are they gonna do with balance? Are they really talking to the community and trying to like figure out what everyone thinks is the problem right now? Are they watching all the top games and seeing what everyone's struggling with?
Yeah.
We should get Jaxie on the show, Todd. I'm pretty sure she works over at Blizzard.
I don't think I've already tried to get some of them, some Blizzard people on the show. I think it's extremely unlikely that it's gonna happen. But if it's maybe in the later future, or like later on, it might happen. But for now, it seemed difficult. What?
I said you should get Matt Morris and Pad to come on the show at the same time. That would be crazy good content, man. I would watch it of that. Just see Pad be like, hey, I made a ladder in like 2 days, and you guys have been working on it for like 1.5 years. What's up? What's up with that?
We can start saying like Jerry. Have him go out.
Asking the real questions that people want, man.
I think it would be cool down the line if like somebody from Blizzard came on the show, but I think even then it probably still be like a controlled environment. They would probably tell me in advance like what they can and cannot talk about. It's usually kind of how it goes.
PR bullshit.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's not up to
Bullshit,
one
don't it?
person. Like it's just the way the company works. You know, like I think it's no secret, right? That Blizzard was bought, and that a lot of the older founders that made Blizzard what it is, they don't really work at the company anymore. So I'm not saying that Blizzard doesn't have any more employees that care about the game, because that would be completely wrong. They still have like a ton of employees. I think like a lot of their employees are people that are very passionate about video games that go and work there. But as far as everybody that's in charge there, or like the higher ups, I definitely doubt that those are like actually gamers. They're probably people that are thinking like, you know, in terms of numbers and how much money they need to make and stuff. And I think that's the problem maybe with games like Warcraft 3, right? Because we don't generate the most money now. The Reforge launch went really bad, and they probably just look at the game thinking, oh, well, like, let's just pull the plug on this sinking ship. We'll just do the bare minimum and then fuck it. I mean, I could be wrong. They could have like a big patch or whatever and ladder like on the way, but I sincerely doubt it at this point. So, yeah.
Man, my friend calls it abandonware, but, you know, I don't want to go that far yet, but I feel like it's almost there, you know?
Just like a few weeks ago, they released the WoW expansion, no, the WoW beta or alpha or something, and the leader of the team, Ion Hazakos or something, went on someone's stream on Twitch and just like talked about the alpha and their thoughts and their process and what they want to do with the game and took community feedback. Meanwhile, here we can't even get them to like make a tweet or something.
Yeah.
We got a tweet a month and a half ago, didn't we? Someone posted on Reddit like it was a big deal. Like they responded to one of our tweets. It was like from like at least like a few weeks ago. They responded to one tweet with like one PR line.
Yeah,
I remember
it's
Kai
absolutely
Fax,
nothing. Like the Rock replied to me one time when I tweeted at him. I mean, it's probably not even him. Like,
Hog.
yeah, like, you know, like,
Damn.
doesn't mean much, to be honest. You guys want to add anything on the Reforge topic or on this absolute farce of a patch, or should we move on?
Is the ladder broken? Is the ladder broken?
Yeah, I think the ladder's broken. That's what people are saying.
Oh,
which
he actually
is
broke
the-
Pat's ladder. Oof.
Oh,
Yeah, which is the
Pat's
problem
not
here.
That one hurts, man.
Damn, dude.
And
That's gonna be rough.
He's
dude.
actually on the break as well from coding and everything, so I hope he can fix it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
Yeah.
how are we going to ladder? We're going to have to go back to NetEase. No! With all the ping and
hell
everything. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Let me see. The Stay-at-Home Story Cup gets its own separate topic. Oh my god, I opened them in the wrong order. I'm going to need a sec, guys. Oh, I could have sworn I did this right. There it is. You guys followed that tournament, right? It was pretty sick.
Yeah, I followed it. I watched most of it.
The Home Story Cup, that was legit one of the best tournaments I've ever watched in Warcraft.
Good.
It was so entertaining, like, oh my god.
Yeah, so
There's a lot of good stuff.
for those who missed it, the Stay-at-Home Story Cup was the equivalent of any of Take's event, like a Home Story Cup or Iron Couch, but online and across 2 days, there was $2,000 on the line. Take was doing the German stream, Back to Warcraft was doing the English stream, as were some other people. I was also casting a few of the games. I was supposed to plan in it, and just in the most epic of timings, I wake up that day and my internet is down, and then I reach out to them on Twitter, and they reply a little bit after. They're like, yeah, there's a problem with the box outside of your house or something, and we don't know how long it's going to take to fix it. So I got replaced, and then a few hours later it worked again. I was like, oh, fuck my life. So yeah, I didn't get to play in it. I was replaced by Sheik, but so it was a 16 players tournament, and there were a decent amount of surprises in terms like of performances. Maybe not so much in the group as much as in the round of 8. Going forward, it was a double bracket from the round of 8, but basically the Muslim made top 3, even though like there was like sick human players like Hawk in the tournament, so that's a big performance from him. Vortix is the second undead that was the furthest in the tournament with a top 4. Spiral made the grand finals, and then Happy won it all. But yeah, like just looking at some of those results, Spiral 2-1 Foggy. So Foggy only made what, top 5? Cash beat Hawk in the first round of the round of 8 winner brackets, and then Spiral 2-0'd Cash, who played Night Elf at the time. So yeah, a lot of upsets left and right. Like Foggy and Hawk met in round 1 of the lower bracket. Like that never ever happens. Like it used to be Happy, and then immediately behind Hawk and Foggy. So for these guys to only make, I mean, in case of Hawk, top 8 and Foggy top 5 is definitely a big upset in my opinion. So were you guys surprised by this, and how did you enjoy the tournament? INSUPERABLE.
I was a bit surprised. Like honestly, like that tournament was literally like one of the best tournaments I've ever watched. Like just the fact that we have like the Muslim and Vortex that just get back to the game, and like just to be able to like deal with those players that have been like dominating the Europe scene for so long, like Hawk, Cash, you know, Foggy, and even like seeing Happy like struggling, you know, like he almost lost to Vortex 2-1. Spiral got 2 games out of it in a best of 5, which is pretty crazy. Then you even saw X-Lord as well, like taking a map from him. So like it feels like there's like finally like a gap that's kind of closing with the tier 2 Europeans and tier 1, and it feels like those tier 2 European players are like getting to the tier 1 level now of Europe, and they're like capable of like dealing with the Hawks and Cashes and Foggies that's been like doing whatever they want in the last year. So it was really like refreshing to see like those names that were good like 10 years ago, and they're still like really relevant today with people that's like never quit the game, you know, in the last like 15 years or whatever. So it was really fun to watch.
Why didn't you try to play in this?
I don't know. I didn't even know about it. I wasn't even playing, so I was on the Valorant grind. So.
Valorant.
Oh,
yeah.
I was on the Valorant
I'm gonna
grind,
uninstall that piece of
Warcraft
garbage right now.
Valorant, man.
That game is
He's like, get this out of here. Get this out of here.
I haven't played in 4 weeks. Only Valorant.
Oh my god.
Hell yeah.
CrunCher, what about you? Did you think about playing in this, or would it be too laggy?
No, I could have played in it, but the thing is, the qualifiers were on Tuesday at 10 a.m. I'm just busy at that time. You know, all these tournaments are just bad American times usually because we either have school or work or something.
Yeah.
And then I could have played in the actual tournament because it was like Friday and Saturday or something, but I just couldn't make it at 10 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I didn't get invited, so I just couldn't make it.
Sosorryman, did you watch those games?
Yeah, I watched a lot of them. I think, yeah, like you said, it was kind of cool to see these some of these old names come back and just like pretty much instantly do really well in this big tournament. You know, kind of upset Hawk and Cash. My favorite series was X-Lord versus Happy. I know it's an undead mirror, but I think X-Lord had a really good chance. It was like the first game, he just kind of crushed Happy, you know, just straight up, you know, fiend on fiend. And then the second, it was like the second game where he had like really good items. Like Happy got 3 rings. I think X-Lord got like the Khadgar's pipe. He got like a robe of the Magi or something on his Lich. And then like he just decided to attack, I remember, Happy's base, like in Happy's base. And then he lost, you know, like 20 food or something like that. But I think up until then, like he actually had a chance to take out Happy right there, which is, you know, pretty exciting to see.
Yeah, I saw that attack. I was like, what is going on? Like, that was so weird.
Yeah, everybody was like, why is he pushing it? You know, like, I think it's like because you get scared, you know, you're like, dude, I'm going to beat Happy. You know, you get kind of that jittery feeling, you know, and he felt like he had to go force it. But...
Soulglider, did you watch?
Yeah, I watched. Speaking of attacks, man, the Muslim Vortex game 3. Do you remember Vortex pushed into the Muslim's main?
Oh my
and
god,
Fiddler
I said
got
it.
stuck in the base?
Yeah, I said it from the get-go.
Yeah, you never push into the main like that. Like for undeads out there, that is really rough. And then he transferred the TP to the Lich. I was like, oh my goodness. Honestly, Vortex like threw that game. Like I feel like he could have had it, and the Muslim took it. So I thought that was. I felt like there were a lot of like crazy plays like this, like Cash, the Muslim, game 2, where game 1 it was like Griffins, and game 2 he didn't upgrade his burrows, and so we lost burrows again. It felt like the losers bracket, like there were a lot of nerves, and it, like so people were really tested, and I was very surprised at how well the Muslim did. But watching him stream has been. I mean, he has a lot of ups and downs, but it feels like he's been putting a lot of work. And then Spiral's games were also very good. Spiral played very, very well in the series against Happy, except for the last game, which was really unfortunate, where he got nuked. His CC was almost dead before the fight started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Spiral was going to win, honestly. Like it was looking good for him up until that point, I thought.
Yeah, he put up one of the best fights that we've seen anyone like be able to take a fight like that to Happy. Carsonnn?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The format kind of reminds me of Big House, if anyone's heard of that. It's like a Counter-Strike and a Smash Bros. Tournament. They have like all the players come and cast, and it's just like 5 people.
Yeah.
Not so much doing like play-by-play color commentary, but they're just like people that understand the game, just talking about the game. I think there's something to that. It's cool. more like a natural environment than like this guy's just putting on a facade and here comes the Blade Master gonna do 400 damage here, and it's better to actually like discuss the game. And yeah, Spiral, pretty good. He's been good against Elf lately. Didn't he beat Loliot in that Chinese league? He does that new like Wyvern Shaman style that he does. That's been pretty good against Elf. So he beat Foggy, and then I don't know what's up with Happy against Orcs lately, man. Or I guess always, but he's got something going on there. But yeah, props to Spiral, man. If anyone can beat Happy, it's good. Even if he's got a mental block against Orcs, like still, that's pretty impressive, man.
So in every sports games, there's always like a recurring theme and something that we love to follow in a rivalry is NA versus EU. I look at these results here, I'm like, where the fuck say they? They got wrecked in the groups. What's going on with that? They had two players. That was Kiwikaki and Hitman, and they both made it to last place in their group actually. Hitman lost to Neutron, then he lost to Ante, and Kiwikaki lost to Foggy, then he lost to Please. What's going on, guys? What's up with that?
Well, for one, we didn't get any NA host.
Really?
Just
No,
Dude, if it was the opposite though, if it was Europe playing on NA and they fucking Europe lost, man, we would hear about it forever.
Yeah.
Hey, you get my ping, but as soon as NA play on Europe, and then we lose, we get called like that.
The Europeans don't play above 80 MS. If they have at least 100 MS advantage. Yeah. Even their own host, you'll have Europeans complain about their ping on their own host.
It's always like that, man.
This is what Neutron did. Hitman versus Neutron, when they played, he asked for an NA host. He asked the admin for an NA host. They hosted NA. Neutron comes in the game and says, "What's your ping?" Hitman says 200, and then Neutron says, "No, it's not 200. I've played in NA. It's 120, and I have 300 on NA host." He tells that to the admins. He says, "No, I was just in America. My ping was 120. It's totally playable to Europe."
Yeah, West Coast to Europe is definitely not 120. It's more.
No, it's like around 200 something. Like,
yeah, I get 200.
Hitman have the same ping.
Yeah.
Because we live like pretty close to each other.
Yeah.
We have the same ping. I get 180. He gets about 190, 200 to Europe. And Russians, or not Russians. Sorry, who was he playing? Oh yeah, Russians. They get like, what 250 maybe 200. It's probably around the same. So it should swap. I'm not sure though.
I think it's more because it's Russia to West Coast, so it's pretty absurd. Whereas like
isn't it Chicago?
There's only one USA server, I think, still, right? Is that?
Yeah, I think there's just one USA server. It's
so everybody goes to.
I thought it was West Coast.
If it's Chicago, then that's more east, but
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know,
I'm pretty sure it's Anaheim or something in California.
I thought it was Amsterdam, Chicago, Seoul were the three hosts.
I'm pretty sure it's not Chicago.
Okay,
it's got to be West Coast somewhere.
I'm pretty sure it's West Coast. It's not Chicago.
I mean, I also get 30 ping, so it feels like it's possible it's West Coast.
Yeah.
It's like Irvine or something. Where
so
like
Russia to West Coast is like, I anticipate it would be very bad. Like 250, 250 plus maybe 240 at the least, which is like, nobody should have to play with 240. Nobody should have to play with 190. If these motherfuckers would give us some servers, maybe we could get some good games going with ping, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about how NA didn't play the best that they could and then lost to Europe. But even just like looking past that, like those results, Hitman plays on the Route 3 champion. And he crushes there. Like he's like top 2, top 3. He's always doing really well. So that's, even though he had ping, and of course it's a big disadvantage, it kind of surprised me that maybe he didn't perform as well here in this tournament. Why do you guys think that could be?
He said he just played bad. He literally said the same day. He's like, I played so bad, man. It was just a bad day.
I know he doesn't like take like good care of his health sometimes because his sleeping schedule is like all over the place. And I know sometimes he's done like 50 like NetEase solos, and then like he forgets he's in a tournament or something, and he's like, oh yeah, now I got to go play like a tournament. And so he could have just
ladder games yesterday.
Yeah, he does something crazy like
43. Holy shit.
Could have been super exhausted or something. Who knows?
I don't understand. Why don't these pros use Google Calendar? You just write in a calendar everything that you have scheduled, and then you just open it, and you're like, oh, this is the rest of my week, and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Organizing your life is a different skill than being
It's a different skill than like microing,
Yeah. Like, I mean, I used to think the same, and back at one of my old companies, I tried to hire a few ex-Warcraft 3 pros, and in the beginning, I was like, oh my goodness, it's hard to get these guys to even show up to work on time,
Yeah.
So like it's not transferable, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, Kiwikaki also had a rough showing. He did win one map against Foggy, where he was playing his usual antics with like, I think it was like torrents and like some bloodlusted army maybe. But then he lost the 2 other games, and then in low bracket he fell to Please. So not the best of showing. Honestly, I'm always looking forward to NA versus Europe. Like sadly here, this is like a tournament where there's only like 2 out of 16 players. But in the future, I really hope we can get like more stuff like that going. Whether it's like when there finally is like offline tournaments, you know, I think that would be so amazing. Like if finally, you know, like the DreamHack that was planned in Jönköping would happen, and it would be like one of the big stops from the ESL Pro Tour, and a bunch of NA, like at least NA's finest would go there, and then they would clash with Europeans. I think that's in every game. It's always something nice when it happens. But yeah, for now we're stuck playing with a shitload of lag, and it just kind of sucks. In my tournament though, in the tag team 2-on-2, I allowed the NA teams to get some hosts in themselves in INSUPERABLE. Did you feel like it was fair, or is still a big advantage for whoever gets the more hosts, like or the first host?
I mean, it's definitely like more fair. It's like kind of nice as well to have like a chance of playing on your own host and like having your opponent lagging a little bit. But even though like the Europe still get 2 hosts and we get 1, so once again NA is always like the one that gets like less hosts. But listen, like I don't feel like the reasons why we lost some of these games, me Kaki and Hosty, was because of ping issues.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna blame that. But I still feel like it does help a little bit. But yeah, I mean it's pretty cool to, you know, like to have that chance, and yeah.
But
Thank you for that.
I think
For
you
sure,
misunderstood,
that's
by
nice.
the way, what I said one time. I meant like for the first game, we play on EU host, but then we rotate for every game, even if the series change. So I think you did every series first host EU, but it didn't necessarily have to be like that. So
Okay, it's all right.
Yeah.
In the info league, like that's how we always run it. Like we'll try to get in USA host, you know, for like the second game.
Yeah.
But it's generally like they always like say, oh, we're like a Europe league, so we're gonna default to like Europe host first. So they're always getting like, you know, twice the games basically on Europe host. But
been
not
like
to use that like
man.
as an excuse, but you know, it probably adds up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how all the tournaments in EU are as well.
Yeah, they
It's
all run
mostly
like that.
EU hosts.
Yeah.
Like I don't think a lot of the games are necessarily won or lost because of the host. It's generally pretty playable. Definitely has an impact, like INSUP said, but it would be nice if we had, you know, US East hosts, because no matter what happens, even if you do swap hosts, it's a best of 3 or 5, so someone's always at a disadvantage.
But you think that's the fairest way to do it?
Right now, I think
the fairest way to see what each person has to a host, because I know, like for me, for example, on a European host, I got like 140, 150. I know some Europeans got like 200 plus. So it kind of depends on who exactly is playing and what their ping is.
Yeah.
So I think that should be taken into consideration as well.
Yeah. And but also, I guess, like Russians, again, you know, we count them as Europe, but they have honestly quite a big ping on NA, I would assume. So I can understand if they would not want to play even more so on NA host than the rest of the peeps. But yeah, like, again, if Blizzard's watching this, guys, you know, some East host would be pretty amazing. So we're still waiting for that. That would fix a lot, in fact. I'm pretty sure if we could crowdfund like some sort of server ourselves, we would do it in like 1 second, the community, like.
Oh, easily.
And then immediately it would be like so much better for any NA versus EU encounters. Like obviously it wouldn't be perfect ping, but on East hosts, honestly, I don't think I have like super high ping. I think it would have to be between like 80 and 100. And if somebody from the West Coast plays on East hosts, it probably would be the same thing for them, right? Maybe
we used to do Coast host is like the most fair for like somebody from California versus like someone from France or something. That's like usually.
I remember that's what we used to do way back in the day. Was East Coast for Europe versus West Coast. That's how we always played.
Yeah. And when I lived in China, actually, I played on West Host versus European.
Oh yeah.
Holy fuck, that was bad.
Exactly.
That's probably real
I remember
bad.
back then I used to get hit up all the time for hosting because I was on the West Coast, and everyone would be like, "Yo, Jason, can you host for me?" It's like I was like, "Oh man."
Yeah, no, it was a really cool tournament. Very happy that Take put this on and Back to Warcraft helped organize. They had some crazy numbers. In the finals, they had like 6K viewers, which for Warcraft 3 is very, very nice to see. I think like people are like, they really appreciate these tournaments. It was fun cast. Like I cast with them a bunch. They had like quite a few players casting with them. It was really, really nice. I really hope that Take makes another one happen. I saw that he had a donation bar on his stream and that he raised a bunch of money maybe for a next one. So I really, really hope that we see more of these tournaments, not necessarily like regularly, but once in a while. And I would definitely be down to try and play again and cast a bunch. And yeah, the community just liked it quite a bit.
Oh, it's for 2K too. That's pretty nice. That's a
Yeah.
good price.
There was this guy called Cake as well, like a Russian streamer. I think he had like 5,000 or 6,000. He was casting it as well in Russian. So like in total, we probably had like 10, 15K viewers.
10K. Yeah.
All the other stream, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, this guy always has a lot of viewers actually, like whatever
yeah.
he does. But it
Yeah,
was cool
it's
that he
crazy.
showed up and he was like, "Oh, I want to cast some." I mean, the Russian players. It's not like they're doing bad either. So he's Russian, so he always gets happy like going deep in his tournaments.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to our next topic, which is gonna be the Cups/tournament news. So I think this one might be slightly out of order. So maybe you guys can watch the stream for this better if you want to follow exactly which tournament I'm talking about. So first up, we have the We Play at Home Cup number 5. So the We Play at Home Cup are cups that are only available for players of Russian nationality. It's organized by Good Game on RU, I believe, or at least on the website. And Sokol made it in there, but I guess he might have a Russian nationality as well. But otherwise, other than that, it's only Russians. Johnny Cage won this time, and Cooper took second, Hawk third place. It feels like Hawk is having a harder time perform these days, actually, in some of these tournaments. He also only made top 8 in the Stay-at-Home Story Cup. Are you guys surprised by that?
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised, honestly. It feels like Hawk sometimes has like really big highs. It feels like lately it's been like kind of mad. It feels like Blade, the Muslim, like Johnny Cage, like those players that's been like more taking the spotlight lately. And but I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like back on top like really soon. Like he's a guy that's been like pretty consistent in general in the last few years. So, but yeah, man, like Cooper actually has been doing pretty decently. He's also a very good 2v2 player. He used to play double arena, I think, on like the Rivalry account. So yeah, it's nice to see like it's like a name that you don't see very often in high grids, but yeah.
He's pretty sick with Blade Master actually, which is rare. Like these days, everybody's playing Farseer.
Yeah.
CrunCher, you're a human player.
I am. I think I've been watching Hawks games recently. I know he's been struggling a bit for like several matchups and races, so I guess he's just having a bit of a slump or something. I know he practices a lot because he plays Nadis a bunch and stuff. I think he's playing WC Champions as well. But I'm not surprised. Johnny Cage is pretty good. I think I know when he first, like, it was last WGL, summer qualifiers or something, he, like, did really well in the European qualifiers. He kind of slumped off for a while. He played some America's Cups. He was doing good there. And he really slumped off for a while, but it seems like he started to come back recently. And I know he was playing Elf on Ladder as well. I don't know if he, like, just swaps for fun or if he's actually thinking about playing Night Elf or something, or does anyone know?
He's always been, like, a really good off-race player. I remember, like a year ago when he had like the account Red Bull, he would like play random and like do actually really well in ladder and beat some decent players. I don't think he plays like off race in tournaments though, but it feels like it wouldn't surprise me if one time like in a best of 5 or best of 3 in the tournament he would like try to do like some race swap whatever. So but yeah, he's always been a good random player, one of the best actually in Europe for sure.
Soulglider, any thoughts?
Not too much. I mean, I watched a decent amount of Hawk stream, and it definitely feels like he's not in the right mindset recently. Even when he's practicing, I honestly just don't feel like he's playing that well compared to some other people. I'm not super surprised that, Johnny Cage has been a good player for a while. Although Johnny Cage versus Death Note, I thought that could go either way. I feel like they play against each other on ladder a lot, and Death Note beats him quite often. But I don't know. I think just like Cooper doing so well is pretty surprising for me. I haven't seen a lot of him, but I've only been back and watching him playing for about a month now, so it's possible there's just some stuff I'm missing. But it's pretty cool cup. There's so many good Russian players. I'm really surprised. Like, has this scene just been like super big for consistently for a really long time, or what's going on with that?
I think Warcraft 2 was always very big in Russia. By the way, how do you know that Hawk's not in the right mindset? He only speaks Russian on his stream. Yeah, I know you speak Chinese, but you speak Russian as well, or what?
I see him quit out and rage a lot. Like, you could tell by like emotions on the stream, but he definitely doesn't seem like he's very happy when he plays.
Yeah.
And like he yells a lot at the end of his losses. So.
By the way, just so you guys know, we're trying to get some Chinese players on the town hall, and Soulglider will be there to translate since he speaks Mandarin. So we've been talking to Fly
Nice.
a little bit,
Hog champ.
and
That's pretty cool.
we're maybe somewhat close to making it happen, but it's difficult with 3 different time zones as well. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Ted maybe.
Yeah.
Oh damn.
Any int for who the players are gonna be?
Well, for now, we've only been talking to Fly mostly. Like, I asked TH as well, but he hasn't been replaying a ton. But yeah, we've only been talking to Fly. But we'll try to see, like, maybe for at least 1 or more. And not necessarily, like, a full Chinese lineup, but at least 1 or 2 of them. And then, yeah, it should be fun if that finally happens. Carsonn, your thoughts on this tournament?
Yeah, it's cool to see. It's weird that Sokol's playing, but it's cool to see that he's playing. I was always a big fan of his. Like, he used to stream back when War 3 Arena first came out. I used to watch his stream all the time, and I'm an Orc player. I'm a big fan of his. And ever since I saw that game of him versus Moon and WCG 2009, he got his Blade Master stuck in Moon's base, and he was trying to suicide it against the Ancient War. Moon just kept upgrading random bullshit, and it was so bad. It was like the worst performance ever. I've been a big fan of his ever since. And yeah, what can you say? Russians, man. Cooper. I'd like to see Cooper, please. He all killed us like a year ago, so we gotta respect that guy, you know. He beat the best. So yeah, pretty cool. Nice to see everyone playing. Nice to see they have a thriving scene, unlike us.
So sorry, man.
Do you think that Indian scene is smaller than the Russian scene right now?
Probably.
Well, you know, I don't want to be like, I don't like to sound mean or anything, but like I feel like Hawk, he's been with Warcraft through like the dark ages of Warcraft, and like for a long time he was like the best human that, you know, all of us humans had to look up to for a while, you know, because he was like, you know, back, you know, in the Zotac Cup days and stuff, it was like Hawk versus Shishi, or like Hawk versus Checky, you know, and he was the one that was like, you know, one of the better humans out there. But that was during like the dark ages, you know, so back, you know, when Hawk actually played, like when Todd was playing, you know, back in the days, you know, when we had like Insomnia and stuff and all those guys, like Hawk, I'd say he was like one of those like tier 2 or tier 3 humans, and he could never get up to like the higher tiers. So now that like, you know, the Muslims coming back and all these other pros, they're coming back from StarCraft, I feel like he's kind of getting like finally kind of going back to where he used to be, and he's kind of getting overshadowed by like the bigger players. And I don't know how good, you know, Johnny Cage is yet. He's a young guy. He's like, you know, he's playing a lot. He's playing random. So I think he's approaching the game a lot different than Hawk, because Hawk's kind of set in this maybe older mindset. And now like all the good players are playing random, you know, they're trying other races, figuring them out. So I think we're going to see Hawk like have a struggle a little more, like, as, you know, as long as these like older pros who used to be like really good at the game are coming back. But I hope he does better, you know, but I think that's what's happening, you know. And I've always had like this discussion with myself, like, is there like a potential of somebody that they can never get better? And like there'll always be like a tier 3 pro, you know, like Sonic, he's been playing like forever, you know, like why hasn't he ever gotten to that next level, you know? So I don't know if it's like you can ever get better.
Because he's fucking crazy.
Or is it just like the facts? Yeah.
It's pretty good to
I
be
thought
fair.
the same thing, SSM. Yeah.
Yeah, if he saw the same thing, yeah, that's what I thought. You know, I don't want to be mad to like, I don't want to be mean to Hawk and say like, oh, he's never gonna get like to that level. But I feel like he never actually got there before. But it's just like the dark ages, so he was like one of the only good ones.
He used to like lose to Lucifer going Panda first and shit. Like,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
all of a sudden he started beating everyone like in the summer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And also the Dark Ages, like, you mean like when the game wasn't at its most popular state? Because for human, it wasn't Dark Ages. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that played through the Dark Ages, all right? At the start of the game, when Ancient of Wars were never dying, and then the 1.14 patch that fucking destroyers with the mana.
That, yeah.
Like that, those were the real Dark Ages, okay? So don't use that expression for Hawk, okay? He has no idea what Dark Ages
Corruption did like -5, you know, armor.
All right. Up next, we got the GGG's Weekly number 12. That was a week ago, last Wednesday. And Lubber actually took the win here. Kind of unusual to have Lubber win this. I don't think he had won it before, but on his way to the finals, he beat he beat Hot, then TGW, and he beat Sonic in the finals. So this is a tournament that's only played best of 1, and the map was Echo Isle as well. So like the one time that I signed up for this tournament is fucking Ancient Isle. The map doesn't work for me. I get DQ'd. And then when it's Echo Isle, of course, I'm not playing it. God damn it. Yeah, and Hawk actually lost to Sonic in the semifinals there after he beat Neutron. So yeah, definitely not been doing as well. I think this is a tournament that usually if I look at this lineup, I'd be like, okay, yeah, Hawk wins it almost every time. Did you guys catch any of this or?
No, I actually didn't see it, but yeah, like once again, Hawk is like third, fourth place, you know. And I feel like Lubber, like in those like best of one, I feel it's like the the context where he shines the most because he kind of play weird a little bit. So I feel like in the best of one, when you have like a little bit of like his style, I feel that's pretty much like where he shines the most and has like highest chance of winning. And dude, he did it, man. He beat Sonic. The Great Wall was actually pretty annoying to play against with Undead. Yeah. You won. That's definitely a surprise, I think.
I think Sonic.
And Sonic as well. I think best of one is really good for him because he plays a lot of like Tavern Heroes, like really weird strats. He's like really, really hard to read, and maybe like sometimes like his strat can really like off you off guard. So yeah, that's. Yeah.
I think Sonic like slammed his keyboard really hard actually after he lost the finals. I saw a clip. Like,
is that the one you shared the other day? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rare that you see this. It's just like building up. He was saying like staff or something, and he's just like, bah, bah.
Yeah.
Poor guy. INSUPERABLE and CrunCher, I'm curious, or even like you guys, Soulglider, Sosorryman, Carsonnn, is there no incentive for you guys to try and play in this tournament, or?
I think it's during the day and the week, right?
It's Wednesdays at 7 p.m. CEST. But it's all best of one, so like the tournament is wrapped up in like 3 to 4 hours.
So it's like noon my time. I can't really play right now. Maybe in the future, in like a few weeks, I'll have some time maybe, but the time zone just doesn't work out. It's just...
I think the time zone is really bad for us, like in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week. Like very often I could be working. Like I have a pretty flexible schedule and I'd play it, but yeah, maybe. Honestly, it's probably pretty good practice if I have time. I probably should play.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of the system actually, how like they reveal the map after the brackets is coming up basically, that you don't know the map in advance. You just sign up, then they reveal the bracket and the map. And like the map's really important in Warcraft 3, you know? Like I don't want to sign up to a tournament and I'm planning on playing it and I see like it's Twisted Meadows. I'm like, okay, well I gotta go get groceries and do laundry or something like instead of playing this fucking...
How many maps would actually work for this format? Like, I guess EI is all right, but maybe like LR is all right and Northern Isles, but everything else is gonna like.
Yeah, they don't care.
Host TS.
Yeah.
It was Ancient Eye like 2 weeks ago. Like when I
like you gotta host TR, TR best of ones. Like come on.
And Ancient Eye didn't even work for me. Like when I hosted, nobody saw my game, and when I joined the game, it just crashed every time. So they DQ'd me after like trying for 15 minutes to join the game. Thanks, guys. Like there goes my plans of playing in this tournament. But it's a pretty cool tournament other than that. I think it's nice that we have one tournament that's best of one and that's there like every Wednesdays as well.
Yeah. It's actually really good to see Hot doing well. Like I remember playing with him way long, like I don't know, 15 years ago. Like it's good that did he just come back and start playing?
It's been a couple of years.
So recently.
It's been a while.
Yeah, he's been grinding it out for a while.
He's washed.
He's trying his best.
You should join Washed Up, you know.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
That's me in. Do Happy and Foggy not playing this?
So Happy is banned from all the Good Game RU organized tournaments.
Oh, I read that story. Yeah, the drama.
True, yeah.
So he cannot play in this. Foggy, I think, plays it sometimes, but not this time. I think Foggy takes his practice very seriously, and his goal is really to beat everybody in the biggest tournaments. So a best of one tournament like this won't always necessarily do it. The price is very decent, though. What the?
Yeah, 325 is really good.
And I didn't play this. Freaking Echo I'm beating Luber on ladder every day.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of money, actually.
That's a lot of money, actually.
What the fuck?
Yeah, actually, I'm thinking about that.
Right now, CrunCher is like, I'm canceling my plans for the rest of the year on every Wednesdays. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, what the fuck? CrunCher was on EI, dude.
Are you sure it's US?
Go Mountain King.
It's what?
I said, are you sure it's like in US, like US dollars, or it's not in rubles?
No, but it's like 25,000 in rubles.
Yeah.
So you win a bunch of them, you're a millionaire. All right, let's go to the next one. ESL Open Cup 13. So that was last Sunday, I guess, immediately after the Stay at Home Story Cup. And surprise, surprise, Happy wins, Foggy second. Some things never change in this tournament. Hawk and Vortex top 4. And like just like a good list of players as always in the top 8.
Yeah.
It's getting boring, guys, watching Happy win all of these tournaments. Actually, this is something that I've talked about quite a bit on my stream, and also like just in general. After Happy left LF, which we covered at length 2 weeks ago on the tunnel, apparently he lost quite a bit of motivation, and he's not really practicing either on neties or on Pad's ladder anymore. He's only playing like 4v4s and messing around every day.
I see on his stream, yeah.
Do you guys think that he's going to start struggling a lot more? Like, it feels like he already has, pretty much. He's losing way more maps. I feel like it's only a matter of time before people
definitely
start beating him. And when they do, is he going to regain motivation or lose even more motivation? What do you guys think? Insup.
I mean, definitely, like, playing netties and playing, like, champion ladder definitely, like, is a good way to, like stay in shape. And Appy, like, would always, like, every single stream will play, like, a few hours of netties and probably, like, even play off stream, I think, sometimes. But the fact that now, like, he has no motivation, he plays 4v4 and does, like, requests. And then at the same time, you have, like, guys like the Muslim Vortex, Spiral, are, like, super hungry and just keeps getting better. I feel like Appy eventually, like, it wouldn't even surprise me if, like, next tournament he loses to, like, some of these players, because Vortex and all the other guys that play, like, the home Star Cup, like, they play, like, some netties, they play some champion, and they definitely, like, try to get better at the game. While Happy, like, you know, like, even without practice, like, he's probably still gonna dominate, but like I said, we already, like, saw him struggling a little bit last tournament. But I think we should, like, give a little bit more credit to the players as well. You know, like, if Appy, like, loses a few games, people will say, like, oh, Appy is just unmotivated, he's not trying, whatever. So I think we should, like, maybe give a little bit more, like, credit to players that I feel are kind of working hard to get better. And I feel like, yeah, man, he's definitely gonna fall a little bit, I think, if he keeps playing those 4v4. There's absolutely no way they can just play 4v4 all the time against players that are, like, a lot worse than him, and then just go in tournament and, like, instantly like raise the bar, because, you know, like, playing against good players all the time, like, you just always maintain like your shape, like, really high like every time. And then as soon as you start playing weaker players, you start underestimating, like, people, like, and fights and all that. So I feel like eventually it's gonna hurt him.
Any thoughts, Soulglider?
Yeah. I mean, I think that people are just getting a lot better, especially with Pad's ladder. There's, like, way better practice than there ever has been. Netties is tough to set up for a lot of people, and with the lag issues, like, obviously a lot of people are still playing on it. But Pad's ladder just makes it so much easier to grind out games, and I think people are getting a lot better than they will have ever been. And I think if Happy doesn't keep up, then he's going to get surpassed. Like, even if he does play, but he keeps the old mindset and doesn't kind of, like, even go harder, then I think he would still get surpassed, because there's just so many more people back that are playing, you know, a lot harder and with better tools than ever before, that I think we're going to see a new age of Warcraft 3. Like, honestly, even now, just, like, watching some of these games, like, Charan and I were watching a couple games the other day, and we were just commenting that people seem a lot better than they did back in, like, 2005, 2006. Like, they're doing a lot more things that people weren't doing back then. So it's not like the skill was at the top then and then went down and then now it's going back up. It's always been going up.
Yeah.
But then with more people and more tools, they're just going to get a lot better.
Carsonnn?
Yeah, I think for Happy, like, obviously, unless you're Moon, I don't think you can really stay on top forever. But I think you guys are saying, like, you know, he's playing a lot of 4v4 and stuff on his stream. He was doing that at Anaheim too, by the way. Like, before he goes and plays in the tournament, he's playing like 4v4 for 8 hours for some reason. But I think that it's really important that there's a certain Goldilocks zone where you're still doing things you enjoy in the game and then still practicing a lot. But if you're just not enjoying yourself and you're just grinding out 50 ladder games and you're miserable the whole time, like maybe he is playing, you know, netties or whatever with 200 ms, then you're just going to be demotivated and you're only going to play 3 days a week. But if you can play 10 concentrated practice games 7 days a week instead of burning yourself out in 3 days, then go play the 4v4 and have fun and enjoy yourself for the other 3 hours and make a living streaming or whatever. But I think just because he's trolling a bit and playing 4v4 and doing requests and playing not netties, I don't think it means that he's just going to get terrible out of nowhere, because I don't think you need to play 50 ladder games in a day to get good necessarily. So I think he's doing it right. He's not burning himself out and playing other stuff, you know?
Sosorryman?
I think the way he plays, right, he's so reliant on, like, just his micro of, like, his army, right? So in the long term, I think it's not great because of how, like, the strategies are evolving. And I don't think he's actually playing, like, undead the best way possible. Like, there's some other undeads that just don't have as good micro than him, but, like, I think strategically, like, if you just analyze, like, how good the strategy, like, matches up against another strategy, it might actually be like a better strategy. Like a lot of times, like tier 1 expo and stuff for undead. Like I think if Happy would just like focused on another strategy and he played it as well as his like, you know, main Ted Fiends, you know, every game the same kind of strategy, he'd actually like develop like, you know, better. But I know like I think he says on his stream that this is the only way to like beat human, you know, like you got to go in at this time and stuff. But I think he's like the reliance on his micro is like almost too much to where he like doesn't innovate. And like I think Soulglider said, like the rest of the undead players are like actually trying new stuff. And they're not just like being Happy clones, you know, where they're like, oh yeah, if I could just micro as good as Happy, I'll beat this guy, you know. But they might actually rely on like, you know, different like diverse strategies, like side, you know, he does the necros sometimes, or you know, we were watching like Vortex and Xlord. They're trying to switch it up and not just rely on, you know, the pure micro.
But he's still winning everything, and it feels like he's gonna take
he's
a
still
whole
winning
bunch
right
of losses for him to try and reinvent himself. Maybe like right now he doesn't need to. Like he's still winning. CrunCher, like you're also one of those guys that you're not always the most active, but when you play, you're always like very high up there in like skill wise and doing well. In particular in the NA scene, like where you compete quite a bit. So maybe you can relate. Like, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're doing a lot worse when you're not practicing as much, or it's okay with just maintaining a level?
There's definitely a balance between it. I think just playing all day, every day, you know, 30, 40, 50 games doesn't necessarily isn't the best practice, because you're going to wear yourself out. You're going to stress. You're going to get tilted. You're going to play bad. You don't sit down and think about like the games you play and why you lost and why you won, or think of new strategies, just like massing games. I know for me, like if I don't play for a while, I definitely play worse. My micro slips. I'll forget some strategies. You know, the meta might evolve a tiny bit, and I'll still be doing an old strategy that isn't as good as the new one that came out.
Yeah.
So it definitely hurts. In case of Happy, I guess I know he said on Twitter he wasn't getting paid for some tournaments, and then his team didn't pay him as well. So maybe he's just like demotivated from that. He doesn't care right now. Maybe he's bored of the game kind of and just taking a small break. If he doesn't practice, I could definitely see him starting to fall off some more and start losing best of threes or best of fives versus some of the top European players. And then also on the topic of, you mentioned this way earlier, you know, we saw Happy versus Foggy in the finals like usual. And like when I see Happy versus Foggy, honestly, in the finals, I just honestly at this point turn the stream off because it's kind of boring. I know what's going to happen pretty much. It doesn't interest me at all. You know, I want to see players like the Muslim versus Spiral, or Vortex versus the Muslim, or Vortex versus Spiral, or something. You know, like new players, different strategies, all different new things. You know, seeing the same thing every single week, 2-3 times a week, just gets old to me.
Don't you think that the day Foggy finally beats Happy, you're gonna be like, oh god, I should have tuned in for this?
I should have left.
I go back and watch a Vaj or something.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. The tag team tournament that I organized myself, the tag team tournament number 2, I called it, is still going on. We're playing on pretty unconventional maps for the most part, and we've gone through 3 play days. Yo, Insup, yesterday OC messaged me. He's like, because he was looking at this thing here and it was wrong. And he's like, yo, we didn't lose to Waffles? What is this thing?
Yeah.
He was like outraged. I'm like, dude, just look at the match list. It doesn't say that you lost. Like, why are you freaking out? It's not like, he's like, I was worried for a second. Maybe they scheduled without me and lost or something. I'm like, yo. Like,
he sent a message. He was like, dude, we didn't even play against Falls and Lone Wall. What happened? And I'm like, hey, dude, like, it's probably just like a mistake or whatever. Because like actually no Falls, and like we actually know that we're gonna play each other soon. So it's like no way that he would take like a death win or something we weren't. Yeah, exactly. Like I knew it was a mistake, but OC was actually like freaking out. Like he was like, dude, what is this?
Did you guys finally schedule it, by the way? When are you playing?
So actually, like we're actually supposed to play against Spiral 1 and Nurtron, I think.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be on Thursday, but I think Spiral is like something, so we're gonna have to play this weekend. But there's actually no time scheduled because today he just canceled the previous plans that we had.
And then your match against Long Walk and Falls is gonna be the last of the round robin, which will be next week, I think, on the May 9th.
Yeah.
So so far we've gone through 3 play days, and in Group A, Drunken Masters, that's Caspin, Cooper, and Blades. They're doing pretty well. They're 2-1. They only lost to Starshaped and Friends. Actually, wait, that's a bit surprising, to be honest. I thought like after they won the first 2 matches, because in the first match they beat Not From This Planet, so Foggy, Hawk, and Cash. And then they beat the best team in the group, me, Death Note, and Side. So
Yeah.
and after that they lost. Yeah, I guess the Starshape, Thorzan, and Knopf, they hadn't said their last word, and they are now 1-1. Obviously, because we have 5 teams, there's always a team every week that doesn't play. But yeah, Macro Musketeers having a rough time. This was Starbucks, Spooky, and the Muslim initially, but after being down 2 games, the Muslim pulled out of the tournament. So yeah, I'm not very happy with him right now. But I think they got him replaced, his team. I think with Dark, the German player. And in Group B, team number 1 is doing very well. Even map-wise, they're 5-1, but in matches, in best of 3s, I guess they're 5-1, and 2-0 in matches. They've beat Long Walk, Falls, and Switch, and they also beat Shake, Side, and Sonic, who are in 2nd place right now. So those guys are doing well as well. Back to the lobby, 1-1 currently.
Hell yeah.
You guys had a close match, right?
Pretty close matches, yeah, for sure.
Versus Agro Monkeys. You won with OC against Chic and Sonic. Yeah. Bizarre and Chic beat you and Kiwikaki. But Bizarre and Sonic had a 2-1 win against Kiwikaki and OC. That would have been a 2-1 for you guys if you guys had won that. So pretty close against very good players. So you guys are still very much in this.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think we do believe in our chances, honestly. Like we talked a little bit like off stream, and I think we have I mean, against one Neutron Spiral is gonna be extremely hard. But I don't know, man. I feel like in 2v2, I'm like a lot more confident than if it was like separates one-on-ones. I feel like me and OC has like really, really good like chemistry together, and I feel like we definitely could take them next time. Me and Kaki OC, like maybe like eventually like the chemistry is gonna be better, but I'm sure like we're gonna keep growing like as a team if you keep like hosting those tournaments, and eventually we'll just get better.
Yeah. Carsonnn, you were saying?
Oh, just saying, OC's a really good 2v2 player. It's nice he's got his last hurrah here before he's a retired ex-semi-pro, as every North American player claims they are. Hopefully he wins it, because, he's done after this one. It's his last tournament, man. It's his last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool tournament, though. This is a cool format, man. I like it. I like the three-player teams.
Did you win against Cooper and Caspin recently?
Me?
Yeah, I thought I read...
Me and Hitman beat Sheik and Bazaar 2-0.
Hitman wrote in the chat, didn't Carsonnn own Caspin and Cooper in a 2's tournament recently?
We probably beat them. Yeah, we won a 2's tournament recently.
That's pretty sick if you did, because these guys are like very, very good, in my opinion.
Well, Hitman's just out of his fucking mind in 2v2. Like, all I do is I build an arcane tower before teching. I don't lose my heroes in the fight, and I attack move. And he just 2v1s. I just stay alive and don't lose anything, and he straight up 2v1s. We beat Sheik and Bazaar 2-0 because I just didn't lose my heroes, and I didn't lose any peasants early game. Straight up. He's out of his fucking mind.
I love it. Yeah, so this basically continues. Later this week, we're going to have 4 matches. So we're going to have Not From This Planet against When in Vodka, Drunken Masters against Micro Musketeers, Number 1 versus Back to the Lobby. So that's, OC, Kiwikaki, and Insup versus Sparrow.
It's going to be a big one.
And Neutron. Yeah, this one's going to be very important for the group, actually.
It's going to be a really big one. Oh, yeah.
Easy for you guys, man.
And
easy clappy.
Yeah, actually, players are streaming as well when they are playing, so I can't cover every game usually, especially if they overlap. But last time you were streaming, it was pretty fun, actually. I watched your stream when you're playing Agro Monkey.
Yeah. A lot of emotions, right? On this
Kiwikaki, like, you guys should wish that you spoke French, because Kiwikaki is a walking meme. Everything that he says is a meme. It's so funny. What? So whenever he's playing with INSUPERABLE, he's just non-stop complaining about the maps. He's making like random jokes, and I'm just dying laughing. It's so funny.
He's pure, man. In French, he's like a little bit less shy with me, because like we just speak our own language. But yeah, man, he's a hell of a guy, dude.
Yeah, he's like
really
Carlis the Crips.
Ouais. Je suis en train de crever au crip, là. Yeah, a lot of stuff like that, man. But yeah, playing with OC is pretty fun as well. Like, there's like a lot of emotions in our game. We just like scream like, get this guy,
Actually, you said a lot of funny stuff when you played with him, because like you guys were going for a sandwich, and you're like, let's go for the other side. We go for the Big Mac, the Big Mac.
The Big Mac play, yeah, like you like eating Big Macs. Yeah.
It was so sick.
I know OC likes his McDonald's like me, so.
These are the VODs you should record and post on your YouTube, as opposed to the drama-tagged VODs, you little maggot.
I'm speaking like his language by saying that, so he understands me.
The McDonald's language.
The sandwich, yeah, Big Mac. Oh, okay, Big Mac.
Ah, I get it. I get it.
He's, oh, yeah, I know what a Big Mac is.
No, but yeah, I'm super looking forward to this week and next one, and then after that, the week after that, we'll have the semifinals and finals. Teams are playing for $810 in total. So the winners, they take $450 home, so $150 a piece. Not bad, and it's been really fun playing on these maps. I'm pretty sure I'm going to collect feedback about the maps at the end of the tournament as well, and forward it to the map makers to maybe try and see what improvements they can make.
Garbage.
Fuck you, man. You didn't even practice them, that's why. You didn't practice them and you don't know them. You go and creep a red with absolutely nothing.
How in the living motherfucker am I supposed to find replays on a map called Hellfire Plateau?
There is VODs every play day. You go to
sure.
youtube.com/ToDGaming where this tunnel is going to be posted as well.
God damn.
And then you watch a bunch of VODs. Also, you could sub to my channel and then you get the replays of the tournament.
Dude.
How about that?
Dude, the
Team
creeps
G
were
little.
like one-shotting my
Like-
rifles on that map.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody studied the maps, and like instead of saying it's our fault, we could have just had a look. You could literally like create a custom game and look at the map without with vision revealed and see like what the camps are. Instead of studying it, everybody's playing with like no practice. A lot of people are playing with no practice at all, and then they're like, "Oh my god, the creeps are so scary. This map is so bad." It's like, well, you didn't study it. That's all. It's the same with solo maps. When new solo maps came along the way, like the first time I played Amazonia and Last Refuge, I was like, what is that? What are those pieces of shit? And Northern as well. I was like, I never want to play on these maps. And then now the more I know them, I mean, I still kind of hate them, to be honest, for like some of them, but I understand how to play on them a lot more and stuff. And I wouldn't be like, okay, well, this map makes no sense here, and there, except maybe for Amazonia.
AZ still sucks.
That was the same time when the boots was available at minute 0, and like the blade would just run over there. Remember? And grab the boots.
Good times, good times.
Good times.
All right, let's go to the next one. Dust League Season 4. This is what you guys are here for.
Hell yeah.
We went through 2 groups. In Group A, Seiso and Hunter advanced over Kiwikaki and Fish. Damn, Seiso is tearing it up. And I think Hunter making it over Kiwikaki is also maybe a bit of a surprise. CrunCher and Sonky in Group B made it above Raven Drainer and Saran. So Sonky is actually back and playing well. Like I watched his stream a bit as well. He's definitely doing decent. CrunCher, you also kind of smashed it.
Crushing it.
You lost the map against Raven though.
Yeah, it was kind of close. I don't know. Versus Orc, it's kind of weird right now. I don't know.
What does weird mean?
Imba?
Emba.
We could go into that in the balance section.
Yeah,
Because you need an earlier Arcane Tower CrunCher, right, Todd?
I don't know. Like you take too late. Then don't get me
I don't know,
started.
man.
Let's save it. Let's save it for the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's save it. You cast we're gonna go over those 2 groups. Actually, no. Yeah. In Group C, that's gonna be played. Do we know when that is or? Oh shit.
Saturday.
It's Friday.
Sorry,
It's
Friday.
this Friday for
Friday.
Group C and Saturday for Group D.
At what time?
5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. So 1 hour from.
Yeah, so that's 2 a.m. CST for all your European viewers. Stay up. You guys are in quarantine anyway. You got nothing better to do. Yeah, Group C is Insuperable, Incinerator, Boo, and Arc. And then Group D is going to be Hitman, Acid Rain, Moonglade, and Deuce. So Carsonnn, since you're the caster, maybe you can go over like every group and give us like your impression of Group A and B, how it went, and maybe some predictions or like what you think about Group C and D.
Sure. There's also a little bit of drama, but we don't need to get into that necessarily.
Oh no, okay, start with that.
Nah.
All right.
Start
All
with that. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Here we go.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we invite people to our fucking tournament,
Mm.
and then for some reason, North American players have a tendency to be very scared when they're put in the spotlight, and they drop out. So we invited a couple of players, and then we had to replace them, and then we had to replace the replacements because the replacements didn't even want to play. So we ended up cycling through players until about the last half an hour before we were going on, and then we finally got people on. And then we have the people that drop out, and these guys are all teammates for the most part, so no, it's no bad blood or anything. And then we have people that come in the Twitch chat after they just dropped out of the tournament, and they talk shit to the players in the tournament, while they're playing when they just dropped out. And this happens all the time. And this is why NA sucks, man. This is why we all suck.
Wait. So like I see
Present
the
company
list.
excluded.
I see
Sorry?
I see the list here of players that dropped out and got replaced. So OC and FK dropped out is the first one listed. Why did they drop out?
Well, FK had a kid. FK had a kid. OC
Why, like,
is a retired.
Wait. Had a kid.
retired
What does that mean? Like,
He
was
literally
his
had a
girlfriend
kid.
or what? Or wife about to go into labor as the tournament was starting? Because other
He
than
literally
that,
had a kid on Friday.
Oh,
When it
Okay.
was the day he was supposed to play. He had
okay,
a
he's
kid.
excused then.
Yeah, he's excused, and I love FK.
I mean, if he had real passion, he
then
still would have played. But anyway,
Like
Yeah.
from the delivery room.
Priority to
Around
the
his
right
laptop.
Your
place, man.
son's birth or Warcraft? Warcraft.
Yeah, OC, retired ex-semi-pro, of course, beat Grubby in 2005.
Yeah.
He dropped out, and then he plays a tournament with INSUP, you know? With no shade to you, INSUP. I mean, you took a good Night Elf player who's good at hunts and everything, of course. But he says he doesn't play anymore. Says he retires. He's playing in a tournament right now. I think he's just scared to lose to Arc again. I don't know what he's scared of, but you know, people don't want to lose in the spotlight in North America, and they're too scared to play, so he drops out. Duck was going to play Kiwi.
Duck is
Coupe,
RSM.
He dropped out. RSM,
Yeah.
yeah. Please leave Duck.
He didn't
I
get
love
human,
Duck.
so he dropped out. That's what
Yeah, he's
happened.
one of my favorite players in North America. I love him. He didn't want to play an Orc. He says it's unwinnable. It's unwinnable, and maybe it's a hard matchup. You know, obviously it is for Undead versus Orc. He just drops out, and there's an Orc in every group.
Yeah.
It drops out. And
What
then-
was Duck's
and then we
name in
invite-
Twitch chat? Sorry.
Constrive.
Oh, okay, that's him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we invited Pride. Pride had some personal issues. I don't want to talk shit to him. He had some personal issues.
Yeah.
So he dropped out. And then and we invite players. We invited Saron, who essentially begged to join. We put a Twitter post out in Group B. I'm talking about Saron. Put a Twitter post out. Everyone said, invite Saron, invite Saron, invite Saron, invite Saron. He essentially throws like 3 games. He just suicides 5 archers and a demon hunter attacking a town hall that's building and then leaves the game against 2 different players because, you know, human versus night elf is unwinnable, just like RSM was saying. Such just bullshit, man. There's a reason why, you know, 90% of the community thinks we're a joke because shit like this happens. Again, no shade to the people that are in
Yeah.
this podcast, but, you know, it's just bullshit.
Hey, it's
So there's
rough
the
when
drama.
like you put some big effort into a tournament and then like people just like up and like leave. They're like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna play. Or like, you know, that thing where like Sonic wasn't even here for my 2v2 tournament. I was pretty pissed. After that, I actually added rules about like being late and stuff. And now there's like a death win
Yeah.
system added, but it's messed up because I know I'm gonna organize more tournaments. And what do I do with these people? You know, like the Muslim left my 2v2 tournament with like no good reason really. Like, do I invite him again, or like do I just say like, well, this guy is not motivated to play my tournaments? I just won't invite him. You know, like it just really sucks.
Yeah.
You put in the effort, so yeah, kind of shitty. But other than that, like, so your impression of the groups?
Yeah, well, we invited Hunter. I think he replaced. He was the replacement. Yeah, right. He was the replacement of the replacement. We invited him. He showed up and he destroyed. He's living in New York right now, so he's got pretty decent ping. Seiso obviously didn't have that advantage, but he still made it through. Hunter destroyed Kiwikaki twice. He played so good, man. I was really impressed with Hunter. And then obviously CrunCher made it through in Group B. Sonky just came back, played really well. Raven I thought was going to be the 2nd seed and make it through, but I guess he had first human's a little bit rough for him. He claims it's his best matchup, so I guess Sonky just played pretty well. Group C, I mean, come on. Yeah, I know who's getting through there. Group D.
Boo and Arc?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys. Acid Rain, I don't know if you know who Acid Rain is, Todd, from back in the day, but he's
No.
like a legend in North America.
Yeah,
Legend
he's
human
good.
player. Like,
Yeah.
considered to be at his peak one of the best players we've ever had
What?
in North America.
You're
And
memeing.
he came back, didn't practice for about
Never
a year,
practiced.
won
Yeah.
the qualifier without practicing at all.
What was his nickname before?
Bar.
R, Acid
Like-
Rain,
Yeah.
Never
Big
heard
L,
of, dude.
R.I.P.
I don't. I
Okay,
can't tell
yeah,
if you're
he's-
memeing or if you're serious. But
No,
No,
he was
he's-
good.
he's
He was like real
Okay.
good. Yeah, he's real good.
He's super
He was doing good in Zodak at some point.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and then Hitman, obviously a favorite. They're excited to see Moonglade, and then Deuce is my boy, my Canadian undead boy. So but excited to
practicing
see
quite a
Moonglade.
bit.
I haven't seen him play. Yeah,
I met him on ladder a bunch of times. yeah, dude, I feel bad for you. I didn't even know this happens. I hope players
then
will do
there's
better.
There's a layer on top of it where then they join the Twitch chat while we're doing the group they're supposed to be in, and they're talking shit, and it's like, oh, you couldn't play, but you're in the Twitch chat talking shit.
And
to
nobody
your,
called
essentially
me?
Your friend.
Can I
It's
find
like
the vote
we're
somewhere?
supposed to support each other here,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then we're just talking shit, and we're making excuses when we lose. It's like, people just want to say, oh, look who I beat 2 years ago, but
Yeah.
they don't want to actually step up and win now. It's bullshit. It's ridiculous. But shout out to the people that did play and are going to play.
Speaking of which, CrunCher, your thoughts on all of this drama stuff and on your group as well?
I mean, the drama stuff's pretty typical. Everyone just has an ego, thinks they're way better than they are, thinks they like need special treatment and stuff.
That's me,
and
yeah.
they're pretty low tier, honestly. So it's just kind of annoying. I'm like,
Whoa!
I had my games for Saron. I think he just doesn't. I don't know. He just is too tilted in the matchups. Doesn't like even try. So it's whatever. Versus Robin, Human vs. Orc. It was for a while. I was doing pretty good against this Farseer TC. Now I'm struggling a little bit. I've been trying some stuff out, trying some little builds and stuff. So I'll see if I come with something a little better against Orc. But right now it's a bit weird.
And like your expectations for the tournament, are you already shooting to go for the finals no matter what? And like, are you set on getting revenge against Hitman, or are you just playing and going as far as you can?
So I expect to make the finals most likely. Of course, I could lose to somebody. It's not impossible. But I expect to make the finals. And versus Hitman, I expect to lose. Honestly, at this point, I'll take a turn around Human vs. Orc right now. Last time I played him, he 3-0'd me. So we go back and forth sometimes. But recently, he's been beating me pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
So I definitely got to change something up if I expect to beat him in the finals.
Okay, Sosorryman, number one, why aren't you in this tournament? And number two, talk to me about everything. The drama, like the players pulling out and the results.
Well, I've joined, like, personally, I've joined all the qualifiers except one to try to get in, like, both days. So I have been putting in the time to try to get in. I was in, like, 2 times. I was in, like, the last to second match to get in. So I was, like, pretty close a couple times. And I've encouraged all my team members, from Washed Up to join. And last time they actually almost all of them did join, so they were all playing. So it's been a good turnout. And overall, like, even though there's drama and stuff, we still really like the Dust League just because it does bring some exposure to NA, like especially back to Warcraft. They got partnered with them, so that's great. And it's fun for me to watch, like on Fridays and Saturdays. It's like while I'm doing stuff, since I know the players, like they're NA people, so it's kind of fun to like kind of theory craft who's gonna win here and what kind of strats they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So overall, it's great, yeah. And just on the drama though, like it would have been nice, like if they had invited maybe people who were like almost in, like in the qualifier who had almost gotten like to the finals. Maybe if they invited some of those people, because they
people
actually,
that really want to play, right?
Yeah, they're like the ones who are putting in time to play, so it would have been nice if they invited some of those. But I understand like the people who are in the qualifiers, they may not be like as good as like the players they did invite. And I understand like Badu, he probably wants the best matches, possible.
But doesn't know what he wants. Don't give him any credit.
He just wants to feel in control and to have power. He doesn't give a shit about anything else.
There's the real drama.
Carsonnn throwing him under the bus. No, but overall it's great. Yeah. So yeah.
That's funny considering it's completely powerless, by the way. But sure. Yeah.
Ooh. Talk shit about his casting and his power now. Wow.
I'm gonna trash talk Bidou forever. I've said it. The first 2 times that I joined Dust League, he flamed me on stream. It's like it's a done deal. Like I'm never gonna speak well of him now.
Join the club.
Yeah.
We all
Good.
do.
Our scene needs.
Hell yeah.
You were adding anything else? So sorry, but like how disappointed are you that you didn't make it to the tournament, and how important for you would be to make it next time?
Well, I actually did get like a small invite, but like I was asleep. Like he messaged me at like 8 a.m. or something, and like I woke up and he's like, "Hey, do you want to like fill a spot?" And I was like, "Oh, I was gonna message him," but he's like, "Oh, it's already been filled." Like within like the 30 minutes. So like I woke up and it was too late. So I would have gone in. I would have tried it at least.
Yeah.
I most of these guys would probably beat me though, but I'd give it a
with
shot.
that attitude, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been putting in a lot of practice. Yeah, I've been in quarantine. I've been practicing, so I'm feeling
Yeah.
more confident lately. I've been analyzing replays and stuff, and but yeah, it would have been nice. Like next season, I'll try again. So see if I can get it.
Jason, you also tried to qualify for this.
Yeah,
You got pretty close.
It was rough. I haven't been back for a long time, but I've been practicing a lot. I've been playing a lot of games, and Sosorryman and I have been doing a lot of replay analysis. So I'm getting a lot better, I think. Maybe next time I'll qualify, but this time, I think in the loser bracket, I ended up running into Seiso, and he ended up
Oh
crushing
yeah,
me.
me too.
So yeah, he's that matchup, the undead matchup, is pretty tricky, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's unwinnable by any means, at least in the NA scene. But yeah, the qualifier. There's a lot of good players that I had never even heard of, in the qualifier. So it's really good seeing Dust League bring out, the non-European, non-Asian players out, and everyone trying their best to try to qualify for things. So I really like that. I would have to say though, like it'd be awesome if like the stream quality professionalism could get up to that of like the actual, the Back to Warcraft stream quality. Like I just say one thing, like the first time I tried to watch it, it was pretty hard to watch. There's a little off topic commentary, a lot of it maybe because there's a lot of drama in the NA scene, and some of the observing sometimes misses a lot of the a lot of what's going on. So it's really hard for me to watch. But I could like Carssonn's pretty good, so he saves it a lot of times. But I feel like the NA scene like is kind of missing some of that professionalism.
Yeah.
That some
Who
of
specifically is?
I don't want to call out
Say it.
names
Bidu,
because
say it.
yeah, Beto or whatever. I think Todd said like it's a French name or something, and there's another way to say it. But unfortunately, I watch muted, so.
I don't think he's doing that bad, to be honest. Like, obviously, if you compare him to like guys like Back to Warcraft, like the commentary is not necessarily like gonna be as high, and the observing not necessarily as good. But I didn't really watch the show and personally think like, yeah, this is really bad or something. Like, obviously, he goes on tangents. He's like a very socially awkward person. So, no, but yeah, no.
I will say though to back Bidu up.
Like sometimes there's like a big coil coming in, or there's a big play. Did he steal a creep? And like we're just off camera, and like, I feel like I missed the big moments. And
Yeah,
that
for sure,
was
the
one that's kind
observing-
of frustrating to watch.
Yeah, the observing was a bit frustrating for sure, a couple times, but
I think other than that though, like it's good that they're starting. Like you guys are getting there and like trying to create a production that's up to production value. Obviously, like the first time you guys were doing this, like there were camera issues and stuff, I think. And like, but like now it's already a lot better, so I'm sure it's just going to continue improving. So
yeah.
I'm really happy that there is this, at least in NA, and get to try to qualify again, hopefully for next.
Yeah, a little bit to his defense, like when you have to
It's fucking hard, man.
do everything, yeah.
Fucking
Like
Yeah,
he's
they're doing a lot of
observing,
work.
he's casting, he's doing production. Like you have to do so many things. I think he still tries maybe to read the chat probably too much also while games are going on, which I wouldn't advise. But maybe it's like it's his decision and his style. But it's not easy. Like sometimes also I have bad days and stuff with that. But yeah. I think they're only gonna get better as time passes by. And
Yeah.
I already enjoy their cast for the most part. Like
And
Carsonnn
we were gonna
Bidu.
do it where I was gonna start observing because Bidu like honestly doesn't play the game, so there's some like innocence in there that he actually doesn't know what to look at sometimes and doesn't know what he's supposed to be looking at and what.
How are you
people
gonna do
wanna
that?
See. There's a little bit of innocence there, so like I would have to do the production and shit, which would make it harder, but we're working on things slowly and yeah. I tell Bidu these things, and obviously I'm working on to become a better caster, and we're working on better chemistry between us. But it's hard, man. It's fucking hard. It's really hard. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes too. Like I'm running the vetoes, running the tournament, and Bidu's doing all the production and everything behind the scenes. So there's no one helping it. It's just us doing everything while trying to be engaging and all that stuff, and trying not to get Back to Warcraft banned at the same time.
Oh boy.
But, it's a work in progress, It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
There could be improvements, but overall, it's pretty good. I mean, they only been doing this for a short while, whereas Back to Warcraft has been doing for many years, and it's their job as well. So it's just something good for the scene overall.
Yeah. INSUPERABLE.
Yeah, I think they're actually doing pretty good. Like we always enjoy making fun of Bidu because he likes to make fun of us as well. So he makes him vulnerable and easier to make fun of him without feeling guilty or feeling bad about it. But I think Carsonnn and Bidu have definitely gotten better. The more they do it, it feels like they get better every time. Of course, sometimes they they can be like casting the game and then like suddenly they're gonna like answer the chat and say something. But I feel like overall Buddha is getting like I've been getting like pretty like better honestly, and I feel like Carsonnn does a really good job. Like he's very chill, articulated, like he actually knows what he's talking about. And obviously like I know it can be like really hard to cast an event after chat at the same time, like as well they're like streaming on Back to Warcraft channel, which are like established casters in the community, so it can add like a bit of pressure as well. But I think that they've been doing like a good job, and I like of course without them like NA scene would be almost like non-existent because like they're the one making Dust League, which is like the biggest NA event that we have, and we all love it, you know. So
how confident are you for your group or like for the tournament? Like, do you have a goal set in mind? Because you haven't been playing a ton, right? Like, you took a bit of a break from streaming and everything.
Yeah, I haven't been playing too much. Like, I played like a little bit of Org. I've been like my starting to play on that a little bit lately. I think I should make it. You know, like on paper, like I'm not gonna try to say like, oh, it's gonna be hard. Like, I'll be honest, like I should be making it, but I saw that Art has been like practicing a lot lately, and I heard from somebody that he's really hungry and he really wants to beat me, and he wants to put me back in my place. So I heard about that. And I know that when someone is hungry and he practices, you know, like they can do some really great stuff. So I'm definitely gonna try to practice myself a little bit and try to be in shape. So I still have like a few days to prepare, and I think I'll do great.
Yeah.
Boo as well has been like always like doing some good surprises in the Dust League. So I don't want to take like the match against him like very slightly. Like even though I've been in like a lot on ladder, I still feel like it would be like a surprise if he could take like a map or can do like really good against me. He also like plays kind of cheesy and like expansion and stuff. So that can really like be annoying to play against, and if you don't have like the right timing, sometimes you can like really fall apart into the game. Yeah.
All right. The NetEase Esports X Tournament 2020 Spring. So it's a tournament that I think was happening. What's that? What does it say? Oh, that was a while back actually. That they play some of these groups. But yeah, like we went through the groups, and there's gonna be a round of 8 single brackets, so no lower brackets, starting on May 3rd. And the matches are Chemico versus Focus, Fly 100% versus Lin, Moon versus Sock, and Fortitude versus Hero, aka 120.
Oh man, this is such a good tournament.
Yeah, this is a sick tournament, and 3 human in the top 8. I'm getting pretty excited about seeing these guys go into action, even though Sock is basically already dead, and Fortitude got undead. I guess maybe we'll get Chemico in the semis.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Chemico versus 120? Chemico 120?
I tried to watch it on stream, but it was reforged graphics, so I turned it off pretty promptly.
I watched it even with the reforged graphics. It was hard to watch, but it was some pretty crazy games, I think. Chemico is really, really good right now.
CrunCher, you were going to say something?
3 humans. Go ahead, sorry.
Do Infintation playing this? Like everyone else signed up, like all the good players besides them.
They play almost no tournaments, it seems.
It's weird.
Only WGL right now.
It's interesting.
But there's 120k in WGL. Maybe they're saving the few builds that human can try and steal games with for that. Who knows?
A few builds.
INSUP, did you catch any of this? Or
no, actually I haven't watched any of that. But look at this, man. We have 3 humans, 3 orc, and 1 undead. Nice. Yeah, but humans garbage, huh?
Yeah.
Are you sure you wanna say that now when there's gonna be the balance talk later and we got a lot of humans on this show?
Yeah, you got a lot
I
of
think there's
balance.
3 humans here.
I was just
I'm pretty sure you're gonna cry by the end of the show, so be careful.
Oh wait, that's 4 humans actually. Wow.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. It's in a long time anyway, May 3rd, whatever.
Carsonnn plays human too, you know, so he'll be on the human side.
Carsonnn, you play human? I thought you played orc.
I'm a terrible orc player and a little bit more of a terrible.
Human was too hard, so to orc instead.
Both.
Did you hear what INSUP just said about human?
Was that human Zimba?
No, yeah, it was. Never mind. We'll save it for him for the end of the balance talk at the end. The ESL Championnat National Summer 2020 season, that's the French EPS, where they only have a single group with 8 players that each play one another. No surprise here, Side and Krav are kind of dominating. They're all 4-0 right now, and they're doing very well. We got Sed. I thought he was Side as well. I was like, well, is it Side's cousin or something?
Yeah,
but
he's capital D as well.
I said Side too.
I think his name used to be Sed, C-E-D. And in French, if you read that literally, it's just Sed, the same S-A-I-D. So, But yeah, all of these guys are 4-0, so when they start clashing against one another, it's going to be pretty interesting, but it hasn't happened yet, and it's pretty cool to see this tournament. Like, it's hyped, you know, like, I think it's every Tuesdays. ToDGaming is streaming it, the big StarCraft channel.
Yeah, that's cool.
And, like, it's just kind of like the highlight of the week. Like, if you're French, you know, you kind of, like, want to follow that. Kind of makes me sad that it still hasn't started, the one in Germany, because we got a lot of good players, and we don't even know the full schedule yet, so communication-wise, it's been pretty poor with the one over in Germany, so I really hope that finally they post that schedule and we can start thinking about like who we're playing and practice for it. But yeah.
Is it like residency based? So like you won't play in this one, you'll play in the German one? Okay.
So like Long Walk,
Right.
Toxie, also they are playing in the German one. The Invaders.
These ESL tournaments are sick.
Yeah, they're very nice.
The French community in Warcraft has been like really like doing some great stuff lately. Like it's like all these big events and all like these like French like players as well are coming back, like Cornox, Kurko. Like I actually don't even know like who Sed is. I think it's like eight wins, 1 losses. That's pretty good. And I heard Side says that Sed is actually really really good and he's just gonna get better. So yeah, it's nice to see that. Man, Crab as well talks to like all those players.
Yeah. Have you guys checked that Nefi or whatever? I saw him in that tournament. I've seen a bunch of replays of him recently, and he seems pretty good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like the human player.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
There's a lot of really good French players. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Kleenex though, whoever that is.
Sorry?
I've never heard of Kleenex.
It's very old school.
Mm.
He was around for a very, very long time, actually. And I think he even played StarCraft 2 on Millennium when me and Stefano were on the team. So yeah, he's been around a long time. He's like a very well-known community figure in France. Decent org. All right, ESL Pro Series ANZ Summer 2020 season. 3,000 Australian dollars on the line, which is about slightly less than 2K USD. And we've gone through all of the groups, and now we got a bracket for the playoffs, single brackets. Seron versus K-Dweeb, Moonglade versus Vision Puppy, So Unreal versus Sweet, and Say So versus Physics. Yeah, actually, we got all races in there. Sweet making it as well. That's pretty cool. Like, I'm kind of starting... Like, I didn't really know these players, you know, like, for most of the time that I played Warcraft 3, and then now, like, I'm starting to know who's who. You know, I saw the game of So Unreal versus... Salt Puppy before. I know who Sweet is. He's like in every chat pretty much. He's always watching streams. Say So's my boy. Moonglades, of course, everybody knows him. Saron, maybe he can do better than the Dust League against human. But yeah, I'm starting to know these guys more and more for sure. Do you guys follow this at all? Like, do you have, I guess, an emotional connection with one of these guys where like you want to see them perform? I guess Say So would be maybe the top guy in there, INSUP.
It's pretty late. It's like 3, 4 a.m. I think when they're playing. But like every time like I have a chance of watching it, I watch them because there's like a few names that I actually have never heard of, and then I see them play, and they actually like some of them are actually like pretty good. Like I feel like some of these players are just gonna keep getting better. Like so, it's nice. Like I just like watch to try to like find new players and you know just try to like keep up with what's going on at the Oceanian scene. But yeah, I mean it's really amazing, man. Like, it feels like the Oceanian scene has been like left out for so goddamn long, and now finally like they have like ESL putting some effort, some money and some tournaments in their region. So it's really nice to see that and see that a region has been left out for so long, have like now a chance of like proving that they can be decent players and yeah, have some good games going on. It's nice.
Yeah, sadly they're still playing with a shitty ping because they don't have servers, but
oh yeah, that's definitely sad for them.
It's not like the technology
they
exists.
can't play on NetEase either. They're not allowed to play on NetEase, even though it's better.
Dude.
Yeah, it's weird.
CrunCher, do you follow this at all?
No, it's a little too late for me, so it's not a good time zone.
Yeah.
If I could watch them, I think also the groups are played during Dust League as well. I actually think the playoffs are played like during Dust League time as well, which has been unfortunate. I think it's actually the same starting time or something. But if I can, I'll definitely watch it. I kind of want to see Moonglade play. He was, an amazing player back in the day, and he went to StarCraft 2, and he was also a caster for StarCraft 2, so a lot of respect to him. So I really want to see him perform well in this.
Sosorryman?
A lot of these guys are like they actually played on West a lot back in the like all throughout, like BattleNet Lordaeron. So I know quite a few of them actually. Like we used to play like they still play like back when West was a server. They used to play on there all the time. So I like personally I didn't get to watch like the live stream, but I still pay attention to like who's winning. So like, you know, say so. Lately, he's been my demon, dude. I can't beat this guy, like in ladder. So you know, I'll be rooting for like say so. Saron's say so's brother. So both those guys are playing really strong. And then Raven, you know, Raven's like the West legend. So hopefully he's doing well too. But Moonglade did like CrunCher said, he was like that, you know, really good back in the day. So it'll be cool to see Moonglade in the Dust League this coming up here. So
I think the casters also, like, they're CSGO casters, but they do very decent in Warcraft. You can tell they've like studied the game and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it's like a very pro production. They got like a crew and everything.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Yeah, production's actually surprisingly really good. I was really surprised when I watched it. I was like, what is this?
Yeah. Carsonnn, have you been able to watch any of it?
I didn't really watch any of it because it was Dust League was on at the same time, but I did hear about K-Dweeb against Raven. Unfortunately, Group B, because Raven is considered like one of the best players in this region. He's considered to be the best orc player for sure in New Zealand and Australia. He beat K-Dweeb in Group D 2-0 when K-Dweeb went human, and then they rematched in the losers bracket, and K-Dweeb switched to Elf and beat him 2-1. So, and Raven's been really bummed about being knocked out because he's definitely the favorite of this group.
Yeah.
Him and Say-So for sure. Like, he was a huge favorite here.
But
Probably
is
even
K-Dweeb a
better
human
than
or elf player? Or he switches?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I
Yeah,
never even heard of him until this tournament.
But Elf Emba is what I'm trying to say. No elf players here, so we're...
Jason?
Looks like he plays human.
Sorry,
by the
go
way.
ahead. What's up?
He plays undead and swapped to human. Now he plays elf, I guess. By the
No, he's more like a random player or something, or like everything but work.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's going to reach his final form soon and he's going to be TC Storm.
Final form, TC level 5.
Did you watch any of this, Jason?
I watched the Say-So Raven games live because I thought that's a very interesting matchup, and you know, kind of like Sosorryman. I feel like Say-So is pretty good on the ladder. I think he's a really good player, very smart player. I play against Raven a lot on ladder, so I'm just very familiar with the Lice players. Moonglade, it's very cool to see him back. I haven't caught any of his games, but I used to play with him like a long time ago. So it's pretty cool seeing him performing really well and coming back and playing. So I'm very excited to watch Moonglade versus Sword Puppy. Yeah, and once again, very curious about who K-Dweeb is. I've never heard of him before. But if he's going to play human against Saron, unfortunately, Saron's got it in his head that human's OP and he can't really beat it. So I feel like he doesn't play really well against human. So that's unfortunate for him. But also, So Unreal is a pretty good player as well. So it's cool that he made it out. And physics also, I play very, very often on ladder. But like, I don't know how the undead matchup is going to go, but I think Say-So is probably going to take that one. But Say-So versus So Unreal, I think would be a pretty interesting matchup to watch as well.
All right. The WCL 2 versus 2 Season 1. Okay, this is basically a 2v2 RG. Like, there's like an insane amount of teams playing in this, and it's just giant groups. And we've reached the playoffs. And it kind of looks like most of the favorite teams kind of made it. OC INSUPERABLE went 0-3 though. What the?
We had to forfeit a match.
But you lost 2 matches and then you forfeited one?
Against like Terror, I think we took a map and we lost like 2-1 in a really, really close series. Against Starbuck and Spooky, me and OC played under Night Elf, and honestly, we just played like really, really bad. And then after that, we switched to Orc Elf, and we actually played a lot better as Orc Elf. And then against Snaf and Tubby, actually, we had to forfeit. I don't remember why we forfeit, but I think OC had something with his work or something. I'm not sure, but we had to forfeit. So
this is pretty crazy actually, because like you guys are last place, and then Sonic and Terror are 3rd place, and then Naf and Toby they 2nd place, Starbuck and Spooky 1st place. So they did something pretty well. They played well here.
Starbuck and Spooky were actually a really good team. Like, I was actually surprised with them. They play like kind of strange a little bit, but like very effectively. They do like some good surrounds as well. So I don't know, man. They were really good. They actually like surprised me a lot.
Yeah. So in the round of 16, it's Scott and Thorzane versus Pinke Yagami, Longwalk Raffles versus Guess and Kirko, Amna and Theo versus Naf and Toby, DVTGW versus Craft Torrent, Caspen and Cooper versus Shocky and Tox, Cash and John versus Bizarre and Maru. Who the hell is John? Star-Shaped and Chic versus Gons and Smokers, Pokey and Starbuck versus Enna and Muffy. and I do not know when this is going to be happening exactly, but I'm sure if you guys go on the website, you might be able to find out more. Maybe check out the Wikipedia WCL 2 vs 2 Season 1. It's nice to have some 2-on-2 tournaments, isn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
This is really interesting to see so many team-based tournaments. It's really cool.
Yeah. But this one
Looks
has
like I need to
quite
find a
limited-
partner.
Yeah. You need to find what's a good combo as well to go with you. I guess human nowadays is not doing too bad in 2-on-2. A human orc is pretty strong.
Yeah.
Human against
I used to
human
play
enemy.
with Gento, if you remember him. It was me and Gento used to crush all the 2v2 in the NA scene a long time ago. Maybe I'll find an undead. I think there's one in our washed up group.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. ESL Pro Series Spain Summer 2020 season. There is €3,000 on the line. First place is 1,500, so not too bad.
Holy shit.
And yeah, right now,
Well, it's a
Carsonnn
big
is like
tournament.
Dust
Wow,
League.
for
Dust League
for
wins this prize.
Spain. Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
To beat fucking Powie? What the fuck?
Hey, you don't even know him.
Kidding
What the
me?
fuck? What a hater.
Who?
Didn't
Who the
Lucifron
fuck are
just
these
come back to
players?
get free money? Like, didn't he? He literally just came back for this tournament because he just free money, right? Like who that? Like Vortex, Torrent, and Lucifron. Those are the people that I've heard of.
Yeah, so the groups concluded. Vortex and Lucifron took first place in their group both times in group stage 1, and actually in group stage B, or like the second group stage, they were in the same group, and Lucifron beat Vortex 2-1 in the winners bracket finals. But then Vortex still advanced.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, but now that means that in the playoffs, they're in separate semifinals. So they're probably, I mean, there's a good chance they're going to meet again in the finals. But Lucifron it feels like he's barely been playing again, and he's already playing very well. Are you guys surprised, or?
Definitely.
I mean,
surprised, man.
Lucifron was crazy good, so I'm not surprised about him at all. But that he already beat Vortex is pretty. I guess that part's surprising to me.
He showed up big against Blade.
Aren't Lucifron and Vortex like brothers?
Yeah, they are.
Or they are, right? Yeah, okay.
Oh, actually. Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
right. I remember hearing that actually.
Yeah, because I remember Lucifron like started in Warcraft like, was he an SK or no? Like right at the end. Like I remember he had a really good Blade Master macro back in the day, and then I don't know.
I
if he ever,
remember
like,
him for Blade
Yeah.
Master in the.
Yeah.
But
I played
then
him
his
today,
brother like,
actually,
started
on
getting
ladder.
really good.
He's good with Farseer also.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy because Vortex beat Cash 2-1 in the Home Story Cup, and Lucifron beat Vortex 2-1. So I don't know, that's just crazy, man. I always heard that Lucifron was like really, really good. I actually don't know him like very well, but I always heard he was like a really like talented player. So I hope that he's gonna play a bit more, not just for like that Spanish tournament where he's like guaranteed of getting like $1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, that'd be really nice if he came back.
He's
playing
playing,
a little bit of
he's playing on
Warriors
Pad's
as well.
ladder, yeah, quite a bit already. All right. Up next, Lightning 7 League. I don't even know what this is, guys. I just like opened a ton of links in.
Who are these players?
I just
dude?
opened a ton of like pages.
I see
on
Mr.
Wikipedia.
Winner.
The only player I recognize
see
is
Mario.
Mr. Win.
So
Well,
The Russian.
there was
dude.
like a giant group stage. This is like a mostly Russian tournament. Looks like Russia, Belarus.
CIS.
That's a guy from Turkey as well in there. There's someone from Kazakhstan. And so they just had a giant group stage, which then leads in stage 2, which was a bracket where you have to win 2 matches to then qualify for stage. Like it's. And now we're in stage 3. It's a single group with 8 players. And then we're going to keep 4 of them to go into a 4-player playoffs. Like this is, I don't know what drugs the people that organized this did, but I want some of that because they went on a mad trip. And so far on stage 3, the 8 players, we got Maru, who's in first place of the group at 4-1, Flowpox second place 3-1, Sir 3-2, and Mr. Winner 1-3, not having the best of times. But yeah, I guess that's...
What happened to Mr. Winner? I felt like he was doing pretty well for a while, and then he's really fallen off.
Yeah. I
He's
think...
never been good.
Anyone want to touch on?
Wasn't
that?
he like the OG like rifle caster for a long time when no one was going rifles or something? Like I remember watching a game like a couple years ago, and he was like going rifles. I was like, what is this?
He's
Yeah.
doing the same strategy for like 8 years now.
Yeah, he's like happy, but like for human, but not as good.
He might win his first
Yeah.
tournament ever here, though. Like this might be his chance for.
No, he's 1-3. He doesn't make playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the
Oh, he didn't
rivals got
make it?
buffed,
Oh,
like the first thing I said was like, dude, this is like the Mr. Winner patch right here, because like rivals.
I don't know
Gonna
if he
be
plays
in.
as much. Yeah, but you're
Yeah,
right.
I think he's fallen out. Yeah, he hasn't like kept up or something.
Yeah.
he's a full-time streamer. He streams.
No, I
pretty
see
good.
him.
Well,
I see his stream because like.
Yeah, but
I
like he's
to
doing a
watch
lot of
live
reruns.
streams.
I don't know if he's still live every day. I definitely,
Oh,
I've
that's
barely
true.
run into him. Like once upon a time, I was meeting him all the time on ladder, but nowadays not as much. But he's a
Yeah.
nice guy. Like I
Yeah.
wish him the best for
Hey.
sure, but he's not having the best of times result-wise. All right, up next, the Polska Liga Season 3. And they have like multiple divisions. So in League 1, aka I guess Division 1, we just had 2 groups with 6 players each. And actually it looks like they're pretty much, or like they're very close to concluding. Terror is 4-0 in his group, no surprise. In the other one, Ankest is 4-0 in his group. He only had 1 Night Elf and a bunch of undeads. Krolu actually forfeited, I think, after losing 4 matches. So there you go. It's not just NA in my tournaments that have a bunch of people that leave tournaments before they're done. Stop forfeiting tournaments, players. What the hell? Yeah, and I guess they haven't announced the playoff brackets yet. So
Wait, they have a 8-map pool. They have AI in the map pool, but it's best of 3s. I don't. How do they do vetoes?
Wait, yeah, how does that work?
I don't know.
What the
Maybe
fuck?
one person gets
They
like
do-
an extra veto or something.
What the fuck? I guess Ancient Isles isn't even a map. People are just gonna auto veto it. Someone's got to veto AI, so it just ends up being a 7-map pool. I guess
Yeah.
that's a little weird.
Okay, what do we have next? The Leagues Cup. I don't even know if this is a cup as much as it's a series of like show matches in the King of the Hill format. It's best of 9 every time. Sock 9-0'd Colorful. He's 7-2'd. Oh no, actually they play 9 maps. They just play 9
What
maps no
the-
matter what.
9-0.
Yeah,
9 maps? You mean 9 out of them?
dude.
Every map you win, you get money.
Yeah.
This was a
Oh,
while
so he's
ago,
like-
wasn't it? This was like over a month ago. I thought I heard about the 9-0. It was a big meme.
Yeah, and then he's
And then-
7-2'd
This is still going
WSZ.
on. It doesn't end until June.
He won 6-3 against Focus, and he lost 2-7 against Law Lions, who used quite a bit of keeper actually in that series.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of those games. Yeah,
What's
Sock is
happened?
Good man. Sock's crazy good.
I'll be right back one sec.
It
You
was-
guys
it
can
was
talk
a-
about this.
Yeah, it was a little while ago, but I'm surprised. I guess Lolliot, keeper. He's been switching it up a little bit, like playing different heroes and shit. But his Warden is so good. But Sock is such a god, dude. I've been such a big fan of his for so long. He's so good, man. Beating Focus because Orc sucks, right? We all agree here, right? He beat
Okay,
WFZ.
yeah.
See, Human vs Undead isn't so in by after all.
WFZ is like
Lowest
Undead versus Human
Yeah,
really
he's-
sucks though. Honestly,
he's not
when you watch
It's
those games, you're like,
micro-
what is this Undead doing?
He's had a rough one.
Dude, 9-0, man. That's so fucking rough, dude.
Yeah,
What's
Colorful
up with
was like
Nice,
Sauron,
Nice,
dude.
man.
Dude,
I
halfway
can't even
through that,
imagine,
how's he have the
like-
motivation?
Oh man, I feel like in those big series, like sometimes like BO7, BO11 or whatever, I feel like it happens like a lot. Like I see Chemico against Moon once, like Moon like 7-0, like beat him like 7-0. I feel like in those matches, like after they lose like the first 3 games or 2 games, they just fall into like this mindset and they just like you just play, but yeah, like they don't even
Yeah.
try. They're just like unmotivated and everything.
I think what happens is kind of like poker. You get like a read on somebody, and then like from then on, you just have a massive advantage, and then they're constantly just trying to keep up with you, but then they can't because you just keep slightly switching it up, and then you just keep crushing them over.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Of all maps that Sock won on, he won Conceal Hill and Amazonia. I wouldn't have called these 2. I'd have said like maybe Last Refuge, maybe Echo Isle, maybe Northern Isle, but yeah, went this way apparently. Okay.
Wow.
The W3IL Season 3 Division 1. So now we've got a bunch of matches that have already happened. Currently, Team Sui is in first place, so that's Soviet War Elites, but it's the Swedish team with like all of these guys on it. They're doing pretty well. They beat Oceanus 10-5, Raptor 9-6, and Squelch Commando 12-3. So they got 31 points. Oceanus Gaming in second place with 26 points. UMAD in third place with 26 points as well, but we got 2 penalty points because reason Death Note
What
versus
happened?
Chic missing replays. So well done,
Nah,
guys.
replays.
Not posting
Nah.
those goddamn replays. You cost us 2 points. We would have been in second place, you douchebags.
Same thing, man.
Dust, wait for this.
Dude, that
Dust
shit happens
in
all-
fourth place. So they went 8 and 7
Nice.
against Cascade, 11 and 4 against Squall's Commando, and 10 and 5 against Global Clan BG. Shouldn't they be above? Shouldn't they be above 25 points? Warning, reason, no showing of CrunCher in Clan War vs Bulgaria. So you're gonna have to answer some questions in a second, CrunCher. Penalty, minus 4
I'll
points.
take it.
Triggered.
Missing replays, Dust versus Global Clan BG, Hitman FK 2v2. What the fuck are y'all doing? And can you stop getting
Alright,
some
here-
penalty
here-
points?
Here it is.
We
here
have
it is,
no
here.
managers. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what it is
okay.
with this.
That was
We have
okay. I
no
was supposed
schedule,
to do
no
that
managers.
clan.
No one talks about it. There's no communication. For like 8 months, I told them like I can't play this early, blah blah blah, and there's just nothing going on. That's the problem.
I set an alarm for the clan war. The alarm didn't go off, so that's my bad. And then the idiots on my team don't have autosave on. Sorry. I guess Reforge set autosave off.
Yeah,
for
I think
people,
it
so
turned it
I
off.
didn't set it on. So no one had fucking replays, and I wasn't there. I wake up to fucking the manager of their team fucking def lossing CrunCher because he wasn't there 15 minutes after the clan war started, and I guess they give us a penalty point for that. But yeah, this was a whole lot of bullshit. But my bad. I take full responsibility.
That's
My-
4
totally
points,
my
guys.
fault.
You would have been second
my
place immediately behind Sui. So you'd be doing
Didn't
pretty well.
Art give you the replay? That's what he said.
He gave me it 2 days after I messaged him for it, and it was too late.
Get it
They
together,
also
guys.
said they weren't going to give me penalty points, weren't going to give us penalty points for your def loss, but apparently they gave us penalty points.
No,
for
it's
that.
just a warning, I
Thank-
think.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
It doesn't
good,
say penalty
good,
point,
they
it just says warning. I just wanted to give
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys shit. Cascade is in fourth place with 21 points right now, and then we got Raptor 15 points, Squall's Commando 15 points, and Global Clan BG 15 points. So there's no like giant lead or something. We're just like a couple play days in, and it's pretty nice. I think it's pretty much the best team league that we have, other than for WGL, which is completely different monster. But it's nice. Like I feel like it doesn't get enough exposure, and their biggest problem is that the matches are on Sundays. So I've told them, like, I really think you need to move that. Sundays is ESL Open Cup day. Like everybody's gonna focus on that every time. You guys never gonna get the proper exposure if you leave that on Sundays. So I hope that they hear that and maybe move that to, like, I don't know, Thursday, Fridays, any other days really, because that would be a lot better. But apparently it's hard to convince teams and players and people that to play on those days. I don't know exactly.
Organizing's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if they just pushed it and made it mandatory, it still would work out. People would play. They wouldn't be like, oh my god, it's on Friday, then we're out. It's like, no, like, they would still play. But I don't know. Like,
people-
everybody has a
people would
different
make it work.
situation. I'm available a lot of the time. I just know that for me, it's hard to play on Sunday because it's ESL Open Cup. So I've only been playing the 2-on-2s in this team league.
I mean, you can always get players too, right? Like if it's
Yeah.
on Fridays and not Sundays, okay, you have a set of players that can't play on Sundays, but you have a lot of players that can still play on Fridays, and every team will make it work. Like, and then people will look at the results and be like, oh, you know, you had your bottom 4 players play every time. Like, clearly it didn't work for you, but it's not like not the end of the world. I mean, you can still participate.
Yeah.
So they should just force it.
The Warcraft 3 League of Bulgaria Season 3 Division 1. They just did one group with 12 players, the absolute madmen that organized this. And it looks like so far we've gone through like 5 to 6 play days. Lubber is in first place with 5-0, Diesel 5-1 second place, Lex third place 5-1. So kind of straightforward. It's nice to see so many countries have like a national championship like this. This looks like it has
Yeah.
a decent prize pool as well, so it's pretty cool to see. When are we gonna get a Canadian championship?
Man, I was gonna say, dude, I
Right,
wish we had
yeah.
that in Canada or just like the US. Like that'd be so cool, man. I don't know. That'd be really cool. I mean, if Bulgaria can definitely gather like 15 people, I'm sure Canada can like gather like the same amount as well.
Yeah.
By the way, there's no orc in that Bulgarian league. There's 2 humans, 6 undead, 4 night out. There's no orc. What the fuck?
Yeah, what
Hey, you need some orcs, man.
Natural selection.
and by the way, where's Moon and all that? The Bulgarian Moon, such a legend. Where is he?
He's busy in China actually winning the big tournaments.
Oh yeah.
All right. What's next? The Bulgarian Pro Ladder. I mean, these guys, how many tournaments do they have? I think this is just a thing where like they say, they look at your ranking on Pad's Ladder and NetEase, and then they give you a bunch of money for it. So overall, it looks like it's $300, but Legs got $14, and Lubber as well, and like all of these guys just for, I guess, doing well on the ladder. Can we get that as well? Can I get $14 for like being decently ranked?
You're so sorry, man. Let's go.
What the
Dude,
hell?
let's get that $14.
That's so weird. What the
Yeah, it's so weird.
How many
So
Big Macs
weird,
is that?
man.
Come on, like.
Yeah.
That's
I
like,
haven't been to McDonald's in a long time. How much
Yeah,
is it?
I don't know.
the Big Mac meal's like $6. So.
That's the meal, though. How many Big Macs is it?
Yeah.
Oh, just Big Macs. I don't know.
The Entropy League Season 1. So Entropy is a team as well. Actually, give me a sec.
Entropy.
I'll open
Never
that.
heard of that league.
Yeah, what is this?
Entropy is a team with like Switch, Drunken, and Cryon, if you guys know this guy.
No.
And
Oh, Priest is on there from USA.
Just one American, one Canadian. Yeah, Hackslayer and Priest. What a random set of players.
Was this like previous Bremen esports? Because I remember.
yeah, I think so. They just
I
moved
think
to
that was
like
it. Yeah.
this team.
They,
So
they
they
went to a
have
new name.
€100 in prizes, which is $109 USD, and they have two groups with looks like 3, 4, 5,
Dude,
6, 7, 8, 9.
Hackslayer
9
fucking
players.
8-0.
8-0.
Yeah,
What the
Hackslayer's
hell?
owning it.
Who the hell is
Priest
Hackslayer?
is zero
Go,
and
Hack.
Wait,
That's my
he's actually
boy,
popping
man.
off.
Dude,
Yeah,
he's
he is
sick.
doing
I
good.
love Hack, dude. He's awesome. And Night Elf player. He's
Priest,
he's-
no.
So you're telling me if we had a Canadian championship, Insup would be in danger?
Yeah,
Damn.
Hackslayer's a gamer, man.
Hackslayer is the Hitman Slayer.
Hitman's
yeah,
there?
Yeah,
He
dude.
beat Hitman.
Oh, he beat him? Oh.
It's been a while. I think it was like the second edition of America's Cup. Slayer came
Ah.
out of nowhere. I've always like known this guy. He's always been like a decent player, but like he's not on like immense level, right? And then Slayer was like that guy who plays Demon Hunter and Talons, and that was when like everybody was playing Keeper Hunts. And then Hitman has like 50,000 games against Keeper and like such little like games against Demon Hunter and Talons. And then Slayer came out of nowhere. He played his Talons and he beat Hitman 2-1, man.
Mm.
Yeah. And Hitman didn't know who he was. He just said it was like some random noob, you know, like what's this guy's name? This guy's name is Slayer, dude. Like, what the fuck?
By the way,
Don't
Duck
expect him to-
Duck is ruthless. He wrote in the chat, Priest rapping as well. Because he's 0-9.
At least he plays in tournaments, Duck. It's in forfeit.
At least
Yeah,
he's
at
trying.
least he's playing.
True.
You goddamn moose. Alright, what's next?
That's what I'm talking about, man.
The Super Team 2v2 is a 2v2
More
cup
2v2.
organized and sponsored by Muscle Mike.
All right, can we skip it?
Didn't he make
Yeah,
a team
don't-
with Razorman then? Oh, wait.
Why are you promoting this?
Can we
Don't
skip
promote-
it?
I mean, it's a tournament. Like,
Skip.
alright, let's skip it. Fuck it.
Oh, man.
The SL Open
But
Cup.
wait. Muscle Mike and Razorman lost.
What, they played?
Well, they probably
Yeah, they
couldn't
played.
master
Probably
it.
no streams open, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, they did. Oh, my God.
I mean, you can at least laugh at them.
If they could properly like have a fusion together, like in Dragon Ball, they would win though. The ESL Open Cup Oceania number 3. So only players from Australia, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, New Zealand, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam can play. $64 for the winner. Hellraiser wins it this time.
Yeah, that's cool.
He beats
Yeah, that
Vision
guy's
Puppy in semis, and then in the other semi, Fish beat Moonglades 2-0, and actually Fish beat Say So.
Yeah, man.
Who
Fish
ran
is good, man. Fish
Is like
popping
coming
off,
out.
man.
Yeah.
What did
He's
Say So
really
win?
young.
tried. Yeah.
Did you guys catch the games or? No?
No, I didn't see those. I think Seiso's in the chat, though. Maybe you can say something about it.
I don't even know if this is streamed. Is this? Oh yeah, okay. GTR was broadcasting. Yeah, Say So apparently randomed against Fish. I always feel kind of disappointed when some of these players, they don't play their main race, you know, and they lose. I'm like, it could have been a real
Agreed.
match.
Agreed.
What's wrong with that? I mean, if
Divine.
you can play another race, then you should do it to try to maximize. your
Yeah,
chances of winning.
but,
Give
like-
a great element of surprise. Look at Cash, for example. He goes human. He beats.
Yeah, but he
Foggy,
plays random
Frog.
like every day, and he's like really good with the other races. You know, like it
I think
depends.
Seiso plays random like pretty often, though. Like
Yeah.
he plays random a
On the
lot.
champion ladder, he has he plays random.
If
Like
you
maybe he
win with
played
it,
Fish
I got no
before
problem.
and he lost to his main race. So he tries something else. Like sometimes like players have like an history between each other, right? Like you play that guy in ladder 3 times in a row with your off race and you beat him. You're like,
Yeah.
hey, you know, like next tournament I can maybe like go off race. So sometimes there's like some stuff going on between players, and then the viewers are just like, oh, why is he not playing his main race? He's just throwing the
Right.
games. But sometimes like we have a plan in mind, you know, for that, and we have a reason to do so. So I think that people should try maybe to understand more like why people off race instead of like just being like, oh, he's not trying, he's not playing his main race. But
Yeah, but
it's
looking
like,
in the chat, what he said, it looks like he really wasn't trying though. But I totally agree with you and stuff. But yeah, I think in this case he actually wasn't though.
Yeah, I mean that's
Okay.
not what I'm saying. I know that there's some players that can play random and they can switch race and stuff, but I feel like the majority of people that switch race, they are not successful with that in tournaments, compared to how successful they would be if they play their main. That's just my opinion.
TH and Infi, I think. Those
Okay,
two
well
are
you
accurate.
literally went to the most extreme ones.
I was gonna talk about.
Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Enfi's
you're right.
like the
Most people
second
not.
best
Those
orc player
two
in the
are really
world.
crazy with it.
They were like doing Orc Mirror, and I was like, "What's going on, guys?"
Yeah,
Spiral does good with human. Spiral plays human sometimes, and he's real good with it.
yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen Cash play human as well. I mean, Cash literally played random against Side in a tournament not so long ago. He beat Side like 3-2.
Yeah, I mean,
So
it
the
feels
players
like it's
work.
really hit or miss, right? Like there was the WGL qualifier where Foggy beat all the humans, and then Cash switched race to human and beat Foggy. It was like, what the hell is going on? Or something?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I saw those games. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
close games as well.
Okay, what's next? Warcraft Gold League 2020 Summer Season April Open Qualifier. So this is like the WGL Open version, not the Pro one. We went through some of the group games, and it looks like in Group A, Yumiko and PCG are in the winners match. On their way, they beat Pink, and then Remind on the other side. PCG beat Cooper as well. So Yumiko or PCG will qualify for sure, and then the one that loses this match will fall to the lower brackets, where he'll face Remind, Pink, or the loser of the winners bracket finals for the second spot. In Group B, winner bracket finals Xiaokai versus TH00. One of them will qualify. Loser will fall to lower bracket, where he'll face Mango or Luna. Group C, winner bracket finals Ice Orc and Zoshishi. Again, winner qualifies. Loser falls to lower bracket, where he'll face Cine or Lex for the second spot. Group D, Soin versus Thunder. In winners bracket finals, loser will play Anchi or Shek for the other spot. And this is happening actually later today, 29th.
Yeah.
So in 11 hours. I don't know if back to Warcraft
brother
Worldcast.
Michael got knocked out, man. He got owned. What's up? What's
Yeah,
up?
dude, seen you.
Who did?
Michael's brother Michael.
Thunder?
No, Michael.
Yeah, because
Isn't Michael like Lucifer now?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
They're both Mike-
Which
they're
Michael
both
is very
Michael.
confusing
God damn it.
now.
Michael.
Oh,
Michael's
man,
brother
really?
Michael is also Michael's brother Michael.
Yeah,
So you just said
Killing me.
Michael's brother
You're
Michael.
killing me, Carson.
that's what
Okay,
it
sorry.
is.
So Michael, yeah, Michael got eliminated today.
Yeah. It's nice to
He's
see.
not going by Thunder now? I thought he's going by Thunder.
But
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
no,
just-
Michael's
guys,
brother Michael
guys,
is
if I hear
Thunder
Michael
now.
one more time, I'm gonna kick you from the call.
Yeah,
Thunder-
I absolutely hate when people call Lucifer Michael.
Thunder is crushing it though. 2-1 against Fast, 2-0 against TBCBM, and now
Hell yeah.
he gets 2 matches to try and qualify for the
Yeah.
next round. Pretty cool.
He really stepped his game, I think. Like I actually remember like playing against Thunder, and it was okay. You know, he wasn't bad, but now like he beats like TBCBM and he does like some great results. I think he got better at the game, definitely. That's nice. It's nice to see like, yeah, all players like
Yeah, he
that.
probably just needed some time because he was always a decent player back in the day. He probably just needed some time when he came back. I
Yeah.
assume he's an interesting
Yeah.
player. Like he plays really weird, which can
Oh,
be
yeah.
an advantage against like not the top tier players. So
He plays quite a
Really
bit
helps.
unconventional, lots of MK first and stuff like that. But it's kind of weird though.
it's kind of like Yumiko-ish.
yeah.
He was always like famous for unconventional play. Like he was doing Blood Mage like back, when nobody went Blood Mage.
But it feels a little bit unfair though. He's like way too handsome to be good at this game as well. I don't know what you guys think, but
Is he?
He's
I
a
like
model.
you never saw him. Yeah, he's like a model. He was like
let me look.
he was
In all of
working.
his like pictures, he has like a tuxedo
Oh,
on. and
look
he's
at
like-
him! Look at him!
No, he was working on like the equivalent of like the Chippendale, so in Korea or something like that. I think at some point.
What?
Yeah, so he's like he's got a sick body. He did boxing as well. Like this guy's doing everything that I want to do, but I can't get like I can't even get out of the house, like to actually start
Yeah.
doing anything. He's like super
He's
fit
living, man.
and crushing at Warcraft 3.
There's a really obvious joke to be made here, but I won't make.
Then why did
Make
you
it.
mention it?
Yeah, when you say it,
I don't see
you
the joke, so you're gonna have to say it now.
Yeah.
have to.
Oh, what happened to Lucifer?
Oh,
See, that's why.
Oh my god. All right.
Just kidding.
Next topic. W3 champions. I still like to have that as its separate topic. Like it's just one of the greatest things to happen to the game. Maybe the greatest thing since Reforge came out. And Pat's taking a little break. He's had some personal things happen. So for now, he's not going to code and not going to do much around it, I think, for a little bit. So we wish him the best. But when he returns, I'm sure he'll have plenty to do again. We can talk about the rankings. There's been a lot happening. X-Lord was rank 1 for a very long time, and now that's kind of changed. It looks like Grubby took rank 1. X-Lord is now in 2nd place. Hitman is in 3rd place. He's been having a bit of a harder time finally. Like Hitman at some point had like, what, 90% win rate or something? So now he's finally starting to lose a little bit more. Have you guys been following those rankings or like the streams and kind of like the race around that?
Yeah, I follow it quite a bit.
Yeah, I know CrunCher that you
everyone's
play
been
also on this.
Yeah, it's the only problem I have with it is the European one, the prime time to play in Europe at my time zone is like 10 a.m. to like 3 p.m. or something. I usually play like 7 p.m. my time, which is like 2 a.m. European time or later. So I can't really like find games all the time unless I play like Saturday or something. It's been unfortunate because NA ladder just isn't competitive at all.
Yeah. Oh, maybe it's working again because Grubby's playing We Are Falls right now. So I know he was down earlier, but
Yeah, I saw in the chat some people are saying it's working. So
Nice.
They were saying that EU one's down, but the NA one was working.
okay. And
I don't know if someone can confirm.
INSUP, when are we gonna see you again on this?
I started playing again, so I don't know. I mean, on the NA ladder, I'm doing pretty good. I think I'm like maybe top 6 or something. But eventually, I'm gonna play on Europe because, of course, like it's a bit of practice over there. But
And your ping isn't so bad, right?
no, ping is very playable. I have like 115, which is definitely good enough to like play decent. But definitely, like sometimes if you play like against someone who has like 20 ping, you can definitely feel like a small, like a, like you can definitely feel it in the micro. But I think 150 ping is definitely good enough to like have quality practice out of it. Yeah, the ranking has been pretty cool, man. I'm actually like been following it a little bit. Feels like every day somebody is like new in the rank 1, like it's grubby, and then you lose a few games, and then like somebody takes it or whatever. So it's nice, man. Like the big names are in the top 10, and that makes it fun.
And imagine Foggy and like Happy, they're not even really playing on it yet, and Cash. Sorry,
Yeah.
Hawk. I feel like if this guy starts laddering hard, Blade and stuff, this ladder is just gonna be insane.
It would be War 3 Arena again, essentially, which is nice because that was a good ladder.
Well, everybody's better now, I think. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And there's
definitely.
more players, like more top tier players.
Yeah, they came back. Like, yeah.
How's your ping
I feel
on
like-
Europe, CrunCher?
I get like 140 to 150, so it's pretty good overall. It's definitely playable. I don't have any problems with it for the most part.
INSUP, you were gonna say?
You're not supposed to say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Hawk, Foggy, like I think they like kind of prefer netties because like for a long time they had like no real challenge on the ladder, so like netties was like the best way to practice. But I think now like Europe is like a lot stronger, and it could be like a bit more like more worth it to play on the ladder, especially like Foggy losing to like some of these players as well. Maybe he wants to play like on the ladder now and try to like analyze more of these players by playing games against them. So yeah, I think we have a chance of seeing them on the Chipping again. Because like they just practice on netties and they don't like practice against players that they lose in tournaments, so
Yeah.
they're gonna have to like get some practice, you know, like.
Guys, imagine if you got an East server for Pad Ladder. How crazy it would be.
Yeah.
might be able to even combine EU and NA a little bit if there's East server. I don't know.
Yeah. You could like maybe get to choose or something. But imagine if you got an East server and a reconnect to game feature. That's
Oh,
it.
man,
I don't
that'd be
want
good.
anything else ever from Blizzard. Okay, maybe a couple
Yeah.
balance patches, but that'd be so sick. But it's nice to see all of these names because like it's starting to like kind of build stories of like it kind of gives an idea of who's doing well as well. Like we got Vortex, One, Dawag, The Muslim, screw that guy, Torrent, Bizarre, Lil, Neutron, Toxie, LeMay, Shocker, and like all of these guys. You know, a lot of them. It's only 30 players in Grandmaster, so it's like a constant battle. Cash finally made it in there. We got Shaddai, Nighten still. But it's pretty sick. It's always building up like. For streamers, it's so hype because like you find a game, you got W3 booster, you see everybody's stats, it shows even your little flag up there, it shows the AK of the player that you're playing. I really, really love it, and I hope that this ladder continues on thriving and gets even better.
Yeah, it's super good content, man. I've been going back and watching the VODs. I have 2 monitors, and I sync up Grubby's stream with your stream, Todd, and go back and watch the VOD of you guys playing like 10 times in a row. It's so entertaining, man. It's the best.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it. Getting stomped into the fucking ground. Him escaping all the
Played
fight
good
with
the other
speed
day,
scroll.
man.
What a
You played
game!
good the other day. You beat him a bunch of times.
I won
It's
2
like-
games because he played like.
Yeah, those
garbage.
were good game.
All
I
right.
mean, you're always ahead, and you always find a way to throw it, man.
Yeah.
Every single
Yeah.
time.
I've
so
had a
amazing,
couple
though.
epic
It's
throws. Yeah.
It's all about the content, though.
Some fun games, though, man. Like really fun to watch every time.
Anything else to add about the ladder?
Let's go Hitman. Let's see.
Now
what
we see more
CrunCher-
Frenchies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about the America one? Do you think that's like there's some players coming back? You know, Soulglider. There's some old schoolers like Sonky as well coming back. Do you think maybe it's got potential as well to be like more active and for you guys not to have to play on Europe all the time, CrunCher? Or
Maybe a little more active, but the thing is, the NA's player base is just so small as well. I mean, if you look at the people online at W3 Champions in game, I mean, USA NA hits like 150, 180 tops, and EU hits like I don't know 4, 5, 600.
yeah.
There's just way more players, and you can find way more games and wide variety of people to play as well. And NA just doesn't
And
have
people
that.
dodge. People dodge too. Like if you or Hitman are streaming, people will like purposely dodge both of you on NA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
it's
All the
awesome.
undeads will try to match me.
Yeah.
See, when I started playing, they all try to match me. I was beating like 95% of them, so they stopped matching me. I know none of them will snipe Hitman. They try to snipe me, or used to try to snipe me.
I don't snipe you though.
Like, not you, but like Duck Say So and
Deuce.
Yeah.
Deuce a lot. Yeah.
Yeah,
Send
it
them
definitely
back
feels
to the
like on
lobby,
NA, people aren't just trying to play against each other a million times in a row, like what's happening with like Todd and Grubby or like Hitman and Grubby or whatever. Like they're dodging each other a lot more. I don't
What, we are dodging each other?
No, the NA
okay.
scene, like
Yeah, yeah.
like I would see that as a pretty good opportunity. Although, like when I first came back, like when Pad just came out, my first 10 games were all against Hitman. I was still even learning like how to play.
Welcome back.
It was like last month. I was
Yeah,
like,
it's
okay,
hard.
welcome back. Like I couldn't get my Archmage out of base. I was like, oh man.
You're like, damn, I really suck at this game.
I was like, man, I thought I used to be pretty good at this game, but I guess I'm really terrible.
Yeah,
My
Warcraft
first
is
game
like-
is so-
It's not how I remember it. I'm literally like I'm losing my Archmage on level 1 from the start. All
Yeah,
right.
but that's definitely a problem that I found also on NA is that like I end up going to EU as well because there's just way more players. Even at like peak NA times, like there's more players on EU.
Yeah. What's your ping?
200, sometimes 250, sometimes 180. It really depends.
Yikes.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
a weird
sounds like-
problem on the ladder where like if I play versus like a Western European, it's like 140, 150. If I
Yeah.
match like a Russian or something, it's like 180 with spikes. It's so weird.
Oh yeah, when I get Russians, sometimes I get like 400, 350 ping for some reason. Like I feel like it chooses a different server.
Maybe Korea
Yeah.
then, if you got that ping.
Yeah, it must be Korea then.
Probably Korea.
Not good.
But it's weird because like on the NA ladder, sometimes I can have like 95 ping, which is like a West Coast server, and sometimes I can have like 75, 80. So that's why like I definitely think there's like more than one server. Even though in CGs it feels like there's like one NA server, but in ladder sometimes like my ping is really like different from like 20, 30. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if like in Europe it's the same, but it feels like when you're hosting CG, there's no like I don't know, it's just like one server. But in ladder they have like a few. It feels I don't know, it's strange.
Yeah, I feel the same
Blizzard
thing.
would tell us, but
Okay. Let's move on then. Next topic is gonna be balance. So let's just do the usual thing. Go through all the matchups real quick that are not mirror, and then rate the races from best to worst. CrunCher, go first.
Oh, I get to take the lead on this.
Yeah.
Um,
like,
I'll just do the human matches because I don't really play other races or too much. I don't really know too much about them.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
meant.
Okay, yeah. So human versus elf, I definitely think it's mostly human favored right now. Versus warden, it's a bit rough. But most players tend to not play warden, at least not too well. They don't really practice it or anything. But I think versus human versus elf, the one base push can be kind of good. But overall, I think fast expo is generally better because this one base push you do versus night elf, there's such a precise timing you have to hit, where if you don't hit that timing or you make a small mistake, you kind of just like lose the game. But if you play pretty well, it goes pretty well. Human versus undead and orc. Human versus orc is kind of rough right now. This new Farseer TC thing is Lin's strategy is just really rough. I haven't seen Lin lose to a human in like 8 months, so I don't know if any human has really figured out how to beat like a top pro who does it. No, Lin's the only one, I guess, who they haven't beat. So I kind of want to like Inferior TH beat Lin and see what they come up with, because I know Infi is doing this like Priest Breaker into Dragonhawk, and it doesn't seem that strong. I saw him play versus Cash, and honestly, he had a really good start. He had a decent mid game. He killed all of Cash's mining peons, and it was still like pretty close. So I honestly don't think it's too good from what I've seen from his games. And Human vs. Undead, I think overall it's maybe better than Human vs. Orc right now. I think that Undead just has it way too easy. Too many, like, they have Unholy Ore, so they're just always way faster. They have way better healing. They have statues which give more mana than Brilliance. And then Hero Nuke's a huge problem too, because you can so easily get out of position, just lose your hero so fast because they're faster than you. They have the slow. So you can really, it's always lose your AM just so fast from Coil Nova. You're out of position for like half a second. And then the race rankings, I would say that overall it's pretty balanced, I would say. I'd say that probably Orc is number 1, Undead's number 2, Humans 3, Elf is 4.
Okay. Sosorryman?
Okay, so I guess I'll go to the Human versus Orc. Yeah, it's kind of like CrunCher's in like a weird spot because it's like the human it's like humans always adapting to what the orc's kind of doing, because like if you go too many rifles, right, you get wrecked by the stomp grunt. If you go too many, like, if you go too many like, you want to adapt to the wyverns, you got to go back to Dragonhawks. So I feel like it's kind of like the orc, it's slightly in their ballpark, like dictating the matchup. So I think humans just slightly behind, and I think TC5 is a little overpowered, and I'm not talking only in solo, like in twos, like TC5 is like too scary. I think they need to either like reduce the damage. You know how they buff the damage of the stomp? Like I don't think anybody was actually asking to like buff the damage of stomp. It was already a good spell, like the stun is just ridiculous, like as long, it's almost infinite stun at level 3. So TC5 is scary though, so the human can't even go super late game against Orc. If it gets 6, it feels like you're almost, you can't ever fight straight up anymore. Against Night Elf, I think, I think human is in a better spot than Night Elf is. There's like, CrunCher said, the one base push, there's a timing you can hit, and that it's like if you play solid all game and the Night Elf plays solid all game, like I feel like the timing push will kill the Night Elf still. Like the Night Elf might have to play like a little better than the human. But if you miss the timing, like they delay you at all or something, then the game goes into like a weird realm where you like the Night Elf can come back, because they're at tier 3 and they're like more efficient than you a lot of times. So like the tier 1 expo, I think that's the reason why human is in a good spot against Night Elf, because we have a lot of options. Like we could tier 1 expo, we can like try to do that one base push, and if it like, we kind of feign the push, we can go back in tier 2 expo. So there's a lot of different options humans have compared to the Night Elves to like win the game, I think. And against Undead, it's a hard matchup, but like if you look at the top humans, they've kind of figured out how to fight the Undead, and it seems like they have a pretty consistent win rate. So I don't know if I'd want to say that's like the most unbalanced matchup. But it feels hard, like CrunCher said, like if you mess up, like the Undead, I feel like they have to make less mistakes than the human makes. So it's like an unbalanced matchup in that way, where like if the undead can kill your heroes at any moment. Like if they kill too many peasants early game, you lose, right? If they cancel your arcane tower, you're probably going to lose. If you like build too many towers, like one too many, and you're like tier 3 techs late, you're probably going to lose, So there's all these routes to that human can lose, but like the undead strategy is very clear. Like, you just do this macro very easily, just keep microing, and so like the human can make a little more mistakes. So I think the human, like it's more in favor of the undead in that matchup, and especially it's map dependent though too. But I think undead just has more options than humans right now. So in strength of races, I'd say Like undead 1, human 2, orc 3, night elf 4. If I had to put it.
Carsonnn.
All right. Well, last time I was on the podcast, okay, what I said was, I think orc, human, undead elf, and I was getting like PMs from orc players on Twitch, be like, "You motherfucker, you said orc was the best race on ToD's podcast." So it's gonna
Was it
happen again.
Chiron?
But I was no, it was some random guys I've never heard of in my life and probably never will. But and Hitman as well used to message me every day. But whatever, of course. But I've changed it around a little bit since then. I think as an orc player, the thing that's good, like obviously orc's always been good against undead, and I think it's gotten stronger with the stomp buff and a couple of nerfs to undead, destroyer nerf, orb nerf, stuff like that. So that matchup's still good. It's always been good. It's probably always going to be good just because of how it works. I think there needs to be a change to probably the orb for orc and probably stomp, even just to help versus undead, but that's a good matchup. Versus human, I think the advantage for orc at the moment is human is very predictable, so you can just sort of make one army and be ready for it. The one thing that human catches orc off is that sock thing where they go straight tier 3 with tri-hero and just have griffins, and then you're like, oh, I have grunt shaman. But the good thing at the moment about that matchup is the orc knows what's coming. You can predict the timings. You know what their creep route's going to be. You know what their goals are at different points in the game. You know they're not going to expand because most humans are just pushing the orc's expo. The idea is the orc gets his 36-40 supply expo, and then the human all-ins against it. And, if that doesn't work and they're still in a decent position, they counter expo, and then it's a new sort of game. But before that, you know everything that's going to happen. You know what the human's steps are. So that's why I think orc is in a decent spot at the moment against human. But I still think it's human favored as an orc player. I'm biased, but I think it's human favored still. Stomp needs to be nerfed, obviously. And I think there's a little bit of room for innovation from the humans. Maybe different timings, a little less predictability. Against Night Elf, I fucking hate Night Elf. So I'm going to try not to be too rough. The thing,
As what race you mean?
Sorry?
When you play
As
what
orc.
race? Okay.
As orc, yeah. I think the thing about playing orc against Night Elf is the Night Elf has so many options at the moment. Like you play people that go like 8 archer, ancient war push, Naga second into talons, into mountain giant dryads, into hippogriff riders, into expo whenever they want, and it's just the same reason that human versus orc is easier for orc is the reason why it's hard against Night Elf, because they have 10 different expo timings, they have all-in strategies. They can hide APs, they can go hippo riders, and you need bats and you have grunt shaman and you can't deal with it. So although I think orc is in a decent spot, like you watch people like Hitman just destroy elves when they play keeper, and you can go demon hunter. There's warden, like Foggy beat Hitman with warden on TS, and he does it on EI too. There's so many strategies. It's just hard to predict and know what to do and know the timings. And am I supposed to counter the expo? Am I supposed to, scout for APs? I need to keep my grunts in my base because he has a keeper with level 2 entangle, and I don't have shamans out yet. So it's hard to play, but I think in a decent spot. So my ranking of the races at the moment has changed a little bit. I think human 1, undead 2, orc 3, night elf 4. But I think the reason why night elf is 4 is because night elves are such babies. And they're like, oh my god, I can't play Panda, Beastmaster, Demon Hunter, Naga first, Tinker first in every matchup. I need to play Warden against Human, and I don't know how to do it because it's too hard. So as soon as Night Elves stop being babies and stop relying on Keeper Patch, there's no Night Elves here, so I can just shit on them. I think they'll get better and be in a better spot. So learn how to play fucking Warden. Stop trying to play 5 different heroes in every matchup, and maybe find a strategy that isn't just massing one unit. They're massing archers in 3 fucking matchups right now. 3 matchups.
Dude.
They're massing archers.
I love
dude.
the rant.
Is that a message to OC and Phenom you're doing right now?
Maybe not. Maybe.
Yeah.
But I'm giving you are the weakest race right now, but I think it's up to the Night Elf players. It's not up to Blizzard to patch the fucking game. It's up to the Night Elf players to try to innovate and come up with some shit. Okay, because you guys are stagnant and you're not trying everything out. But yeah, human, undead, orc, Night Elf. I hate Night Elf though, but they're the weakest. Okay, sorry.
All
right.
Soulglider.
I mean, I haven't been playing very long, so I don't want to you know.
I don't need these excuses. Just give us the rankings. Okay.
All right. Yeah. I mean, if I just look at the Korean tournaments, the Chinese tournaments, like it feels like Night Elf's doing a lot better than a lot of people are saying. Like the top Night Elves are performing pretty well, and Moon is still just insane. So like, I feel like the potential for Night Elf is the highest. I would rank Night Elf #1 if more people could play like Moon. And then Human probably second, because I mean, just TH and Infi and some of these other humans like Sok or just in Chamiko are just destroying everyone else. Like even just recently, Chamiko versus 120. Like I mean, it was pretty close, but 120 is considered like the best, and Chamiko's still 2-0'd him. So I don't know. I feel like getting up to that level, it's really hard to play Human versus Undead, because I feel like Human has a lot of little mistakes that they can make, and then the game's just over. Well, it's a little bit easier to execute on the Undead side, but at the very, very, very top, I feel like the Human might have a slight advantage. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. So I'd say Human second, then Orc third, and then yeah. Wait. So no, Night Elf, Human. Sorry, I got messed up. Yeah, maybe Undead. Maybe Undead is like same with the Orc, like third and fourth or something, I guess.
Okay, give us your rankings again, because you lost me here, I think.
Night Elf first, Human second, Orc third, and Undead last.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Speaking my language here.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go first or I go first?
Go first, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about against Night Elf. Like, sure, if they play like silly heroes and they play like non-valid strategies, which is do a lot, I do agree that Human's doing well, but every time that I play a Night Elf who's got a very refined creep route with a Warden, I'm in for a world of pain. I lose like 50 peasants in that game. Avatar kills my expo single-handedly. So these are the games that I look at to talk about balance, because I feel like I'm trying my best to have a lot of the counters that you should have against that. You know, like I get an Alchemist, Blood Mage third maybe. I do pushes. I understand that I can't play too passive, but I can't play too aggressive. And it's a real struggle. I feel like maybe you guys don't play the same Night Elves I do, but in Europe, there is some Night Elves that have like really pushed the limits of like what they can enchant off or creep, how quickly they can get a Warden level 3. And then there is a bunch of other elves that have just copied them. And it's just so hard to play against these guys and these creep routes. But I mean, maybe we haven't figured out, me as well, yet how to play against it. But I feel like if it's played like that, and I lose 50 peasants per game, I'm like, yeah, Human's not doing so well. He's not doing so hot against Night Elf, in my opinion. Even though you make Arcane Towers and stuff, Anti-Magic Potion, like, kind of counters that. You leave a Priest per base, and then Warden as an invuln. She's still blinking all over the place. And the Avatar is just insanely strong as well. So on maps like TS, it's just crazy too. So, not the biggest fan of Human against Night Elf, but I'm not a big fan of any matchup right now, to be honest. Like, Orc is on your ass the entire game. They're creeping TC level 3 way quicker than you can creep Mountain King level 3. And then Stomp just basically face fucks you. Like, it's so hard to play against Stomp. No matter what second hero you go for. If you go for anything else than MK second, you have no CC. And if you go for MK second, it's really hard to creep that little man quickly. You just need to pull Militia, but then Orc, they can take way quicker than you, because they can take with one burrow perfectly safe. There is no tower rush that works. Even if they're doing bad in a fight, they press the get out of jail for free card button, speed scroll, and they get out of there. If they catch you out of position even for 1 second, same thing, speed scroll will give you the perfect engagement with TC on top of you. There is nothing you can do against speed scroll. The only thing you're supposed to do is dispel it, but priests have like 20 IQ and like they take forever to cast dispel, so it's like really, really hard to do that. So again, like I play against top end orcs all the time and I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? Like I watch the other humans and they're not doing any better really. Like a lot of them are like losing a ton against orcs, so it's also a very tough matchup. But there's definitely, again, stuff that we can do better ourselves. I think like we're starting to understand better how to play with Mountain King, like positioning and all of that. Against Undead, I mean... I've talked about this matchup so much. I still think it's a silly matchup. Like, what all the three matchups have in common is that we're losing a shit ton of peasants in them in every game. So against Undead, if you expand, you're still losing a ton of peasants to skeletons, which is... Like, skeletons hit harder than footmen. Like think about that for a little bit. Like of course they have less hit points, but 800 is a 150 gold item that gives you 4 charges. It's insane. So still having a really rough time. Like, and again, it's like the same thing. In my mind, it's like so clear what beats me. You know, if I expand, Undead will just do a lot of pressure, pick Lord third, and then they're gonna break your expo even if you have 5 towers. It doesn't even matter. They're still gonna get in there. They're gonna break the towers, and then you just die. You're like, oh, maybe I'll try to get some tanks across the map to counter. But then they have Vagans, they have ice towers. They just repair and then they win. And like everything seems like it has a clear counter. You go rifles. I mean, you can lose to anything. It depends how the game's going. Obviously, you need a good early game and stuff, but rifles are very hard to make work. Air sucks. It just feels like we don't have good units. That style with Night Breaker Flying Machine, I really feel like only if the undead really fucks up can they lose to this. But the top undeads, they just have the perfect rhythm of aggression to creeping. Like literally, they'll push you. They're doing well, like they're killing a bunch of peasants at the expo, and then maybe they haven't fully broken the expo yet, but then they're starting to lose a lot of hit points and they have no mana. They'll pull back and creep a camp, because creeping a camp doesn't really make them take any damage, and they're replenishing mana for all this time, and then they'll push you again. And they do that so well, and they honestly, with Frost Armor and Aboms, when they're being added on, they make this style of like Night Flying Machine Breaker look absolutely trash. But then I've seen also undeads that like maybe played a little bit underwhelmingly and then lost to this recently, like even 120 for example. But that style against Happy I feel almost never works. The one series that a human won against Happy, there is only one human in the world that has a winning record against Happy, and that's Infi. He's 2-0, and in their last series he played a lot of the same. He played expansion, a lot of towers perfectly walled off into double workshops, tanks to counter pressure, and then he just sieged the undead base a lot. He mixed in a little bit of creeping, added some knights, sometimes retrained the Archmage.
Yeah,
it just feels like it's
staff into the back.
Yeah. It just felt like Happy had a really, really off series. A lot of things were going wrong with him. Infi got some perfect items. I think he was maybe Conceal Hill, where he got like Claws of Attack, Mental of Intelligence, and Glows of Haste. It's like, I've never seen this tri-combo on my hero, like even a single game, I feel like. It's just ridiculous how many that brings. So it's not even like a realistic game. And then he barely wins. And even like Twisted Meadows was like a massive throw by Happy. So when I look at these games, I'm like, I really feel like Undead shouldn't be losing to Human. It's just extremely hard. But again, there's things that like we can do better and we can learn. But yeah, I don't feel like Human is in a very good spot right now. I'm talking at the highest level. Like when you play against the top undeads, the top night elves, the top orcs, it feels like they just really know how to play exactly. Maybe that's not that. Maybe that's because I'm not a top human and I don't understand how to play against them. But when I play against these top guys, it really feels hopeless because they know about every one of your weakness. The main one being peasants, and they'll just kill a lot of them if you're expanding. And then if you play on one base, they'll just get the composition they need to counter your one base and then beat you. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of where human is at. Race ranking, honestly, is very hard. I would say maybe orc is the best, with undead second, and then it's between human and night elf. Maybe night elf is last, but again, like at the absolute top level, night elf, it does feel are doing well against human, with the warden in particular. So yeah, that's my ranking. Go ahead, Insup.
Did you invite 4 human players just to like back up your human?
Not everybody had the same rankings as me.
Everybody's like, yeah, I agree, yeah, you're right.
Imagine if I was still playing human too. Holy.
I get what you're saying though. It definitely feels like human against orc. You know, like a lot of people were saying, yeah, human was like destroying orc and stuff. But it feels like the orc have really well adapted, and you can see like human struggling a little bit more against orc. Even though I don't know, man, I still like humans like the strongest race. And on the long run, like humans are gonna be like the one at the end, like having the lead. But as far as like undead goes, like I mean, like everyone is gonna tell you that like undead against orc is just really hard, man. Orc has like so much CC, and like one of the reasons why orc like destroys undead is because they have like a lot of stuff that makes you like unable to move. Like undead's power is like kiting with the aura, and it feels like orc, you know, they have like ensnare, they have speed scroll to like engage a fight or to just get away from it. They have stomp, they have the orb. They have X, so yeah, I feel like as long as like Stomp isn't gonna get nerfed, or me like his Speed Scroll like nerf or something, I feel like it's gonna be like super hard for undeads to beat. Unless like, you know, like once in a while we see Side come out of nowhere and do like some necromancers and it works. So I wonder if like that style has like potential to be like meta for more than just one tournament. But yeah, as far as like undead versus human goes, like personally, it's just like me, like personally against human, I really struggle against Fast Expo. It feels like one base, honestly, is like really easy to beat. Like in general, undead shouldn't lose against one base human unless you like really like fuck up and you lose like your hero mid game or like you lose like fiends or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I know like against Fast Expo, it's just hard, man. But I would say like in general, like I can admit that like it's probably like 50-50. I would say undead versus human personally. And against Orc, definitely Orc is ahead. As far as like versus Elf goes, I feel like Undead probably has like a slight advantage against it, but like I don't think that Undead is like supposed to destroy Elf or something. But yeah, I mean, everybody agrees, like Stomp is the biggest issue, like against human, against Undead. Stomp used to be like an issue only against Undead, but now it's like
and speed scrolls as well, I think.
Oh, speed scroll is ridiculous, man. Like they have like the power of like a 50 like gold item that just like, let's say like you get Jack and you're in a bad spot, you just like speed scroll out of the fight and then you just save all your units. Orc units being already hard to kill in the first place with 800 HP grunts and raises everything. But on top of that, they have like the TC aura and the speed scroll to get out of the fight. Like just carry the human after like the entire army is slowed. I don't know, man. It feels like Orc is like such a mobile, fast race with like very strong units. It's really hard to keep with right now. Orc's probably like the strongest race right now, if you ask me. But
and yeah, and since they moved like Fortified Burrow to tier 2, like they're not like base raceable anymore. You know, like you used to be able to go and like screw all the burrows and just like TP out or something. But now like they can always have it upgraded. You know, so late game like you can't even base race them. Like they could base race you, but like you can't even base race.
But even earlier on, like Grubby is doing this build where he expands, gets 50 supply, and he gets fortified, and he gets 1 burrow at his expo as a tower.
And then it's like
I attack with 50 supply. I have a scroll of the beast, and I can't kill that fucking burrow. This is ridiculous. Like it's insanity.
Oh yeah.
Like
it makes it harder for you, man, to just like push through the base with like units that does like 7 damage, like the casters. Like how the fuck do you kill a burrow? Like
you can't kill
like 60 food of breakers like priest, and then the Orc just gonna get like 2 peons repairing the burrow, and you never kill it.
It buys them like all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes
repair rate's crazy.
It makes it like so hard for human to play anything else than rifles. Like you guys have kind of forced to do that, and I know you also like not a big fan of the Griffin strategy. Like earlier you said that, I was just laughing, but like yeah, man. Like sometimes you've been saying, oh, you can just play Griffin because the Muslim did it, but I don't know, man. I also don't think that strategy has a lot of potential in the long run. What do you think about it, Todd? Like I saw you like talk about it in the Back to Warcraft chat the other day, but what do you think about that strat?
Honestly, I haven't been talking about it much, but I think this is a trash build. Like, I think against a really good Orc, you're gonna lose so freaking hard. You're never gonna think about doing this build ever again.
Dude, I think Griffins are like one of the worst units now, dude.
The only reason it worked is because the Orcs are on autopilot. They think that humans can only make ground units. So then they go blind like 5 or 6 grunts. They go TC, they creep. They're like, oh, nice, I'm ready to storm this guy. And they're like, oh, shit, there's Griffins.
Yeah, they just got
it. They lose Burrow and
like
lose
focus with it.
Yeah, if you just upgrade the Burrow defense, then the Griffins can't kill the Burrows.
Yeah, and also don't make 5 or 6 grunts. You know, maybe you can cut like...
You actually scout and like build like other units.
Sock plays it really well, though. Like he gets obviously triple staff is hard to get, but he like micros it super well. He gets armor upgrades and he just trades.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a realistic. Like you tell me triple staff, I'm like against a good player.
It's hard
like
to get, but
yeah.
No, but if you go watch Sock versus Focus, like a month ago they played it or something. He played it really really well. Like I'm not saying it's a good strategy or an optimal strategy, but like the way he played it made it look really good, at least as a one-off.
Yeah.
But it's still not the best way to play, obviously. I'm not
saying. What was your ranking of races in sub?
I would say like probably right now as we're talking, like maybe like in a month, like probably humans gonna be strongest, but like right now as we're talking, I feel like Orc is the strongest. Maybe second I would put like human. I would put like undead maybe like equal as human, probably like in a ranking or something. And I'd say like Night Elf last, but it can really change like within like maybe a few weeks or a month. Like if somebody like finds like a new meta, maybe like the TH or Enfi comes out with a new build or something, and he can get like human back on track as the strongest race. I just like human like as like so much like tools, like they can expo, they can like play macro games, they have like sieges. Feels like it's really like a race that has like a lot of good stuff they can do more than like other races. Like a much more complete race if you ask me. But
they're very flexible.
Yeah, man. I feel like humans right now is not the strongest.
Yeah, there's one thing too is the meta changes a bunch. I mean, we saw. Back when they released the patch with like Thunderclap changes or whatever, human were absolutely destroying Orcs when Blade Master. They do the 1 burrow tech, you cancel the burrow, you go clap, you just destroy them, right? It took them like 8-9 months before they start this Farseer TC stuff. And now they're winning a bunch. Like I mean, Lin hasn't lost a human since he started doing it, so and nothing changed. There was no patch or anything. Maps didn't change. So it's a lot of like the meta stuff too. People gotta like figure things out. So there might still be strategies we don't know about or strategies we gotta perfect that might change the way the balance works in a few weeks or months. Who knows?
How far apart do you guys think the races are? Because like I complain about other races and imbalance and stuff. I don't feel like they're super far apart, but I think even being like a little bit apart when you play against a very good player of a race, it still means that they're gonna beat you like so much of the time. CrunCher?
So I would say human versus elf is probably like 60 for human, 40 for elf for the most part right now. Maybe closer if they go warden, a good warden player. Might be more like 55, 45 for human. Versus orc, it feels like humans 40 and orc is 60 right now. Versus undead, it feels like undead might be 55 and humans 45.
Sosorryman?
I personally, I think that like it's very like, I mean, this might be like the healthiest like it's been, you know, like for the matchups like in Warcraft, since I think you see a lot of different strategies, right? And a lot of different heroes are viable. So in general, I want to say that even though, you know, they haven't patched in a while or anything, but I'm like that last patch they did, it's promoted like a lot of different, you know, for the balance, like especially in twos, you know, like there's so much different stuff going on. And before it was just like undead night elf, like, you know, fiends, hunts, like that was the, you know, that was the meta. So I'm happy like where it's kind of at, like where, you know, there's a lot of flexibility, like, you know, Insup was saying with human, like there's a lot of things we can do that maybe we aren't doing yet, and the meta is still evolving. So overall, I think it's pretty balanced. And like if you look at the War 3 champions like stats, right, you know, those, you know, how they release like, you know, the race. If you guys haven't, I think you guys saw that last. But yeah, like they're all pretty close. Like Night Elf was like on the lower part of it, right? So like if I had to do it from a human perspective, like human versus undead, I'd say maybe like, you know, at the highest level, I guess like 50-50 or like 45-50 for like, I mean 45-55 for like the human, like a little bit favored. Against Night Elf, like I think before it's going to be like, I don't want to go all the way to 60% for human, especially with the Warden play. But maybe like I'm going to say like 55% human again, like 45% Night Elf. And then human versus orc, lately it's been, yeah, like it's kind of weird. Like you just see some like variance. I want to say like human maybe slightly, like maybe like by 3% or something, slightly unfavored against orc at certain like times in the game too. Like I don't know. It's just it's confusing for me. And then finally at is that it? Was that 3 matchups? That was a 3, right? Yeah. Human mirror, I guess 50-50, right? Depending on item.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, the game is really enjoyable. Like it will never be perfect, right? Like even like if they try the hardest to make the game like as best as possible, when you have like 4 races in a game as deep as Warcraft, like there's absolutely no way that it's ever gonna be like super equal for everything in tournaments. Like, but I think overall like it's pretty good. You know, like of course like Undead vs Orc is kind of frustrating, but it's not impossible. You know, it's not like 100% win rate for Orc and 0% for Undead. You're like there's definitely like chances. But as far as matchup goes, since like everybody's like doing this 50-40 stuff, I can do it too, you know. Maybe like Undead vs Human, I would say it's probably like 50-50. If someone said 55-45, you know, maybe we could talk about it. It's 50-50, man. It's 50-50, dude. We'll talk about it. If we're talking Undead versus Elf, that's like 60-40 for the Undead. Maybe a little bit more sometimes.
Really?
As far as like what else? Undead versus Orc. Man, Undead versus Orc, man. I don't know, dude. Maybe like 70 Orc and 30 for Undead. I might be biased, man, but I think all of Undead take that way, man. It's that's a hot take, man. But yeah, I said it.
I like it. He's standing by it.
Soulglider?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I just go by the pad stats. Like whatever I personally feel in the ladder, I just have gaps in knowledge, and like whatever I see like on E ladder or whatever is also very, very different from Asia. So I think I'll just go by the pad stats. Seem like the balance is very, very close. I think, yeah, maybe Undead is slightly advantage overall, like across the entire player base against Human, and then Human probably a bit advantage against Night Elf, and I'm guessing there's probably a slight movement towards Orc advantage over Human recently, at least watching people play on Twitch. But yeah, I think it's all like within 3% or 4% is my guess.
Carsonnn?
Well, I think the meta is in a pretty good spot right now. Like as somebody who like watches games, like I've never been a very good player, but I like watching games and like analyzing games and stuff like that. And I really like watching the meta right now more than I ever have. I hated watching Talons and Sky Push.
I agree, man. I agree. Yeah.
Back in the day. But so I really like from a spectator point of view, no matter how tilting it is when you're actually in the game watching it. But from like a percentage, I would say Orc versus Undead, 40, 60 for the Orc. Human versus Orc would be 55 Orc, 45 Human. Night
Okay.
Elf versus Orc would be 55 Night Elf, 45 Orc.
Okay.
In my opinion.
I have one bonus question, but I feel like we need INSUP for this one. I'll ask you guys first. You guys have the stream open, I hope. I'm going to show it.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. INSUP. Okay, let's wait. Okay, INSUP, I'm glad you're back. I got one more thing I want to talk about since we're talking about balance and how close the races are. If human is 50-50 against undeads, why the fuck does Happy have 36 wins and 2 losses in series against Hawk?
Because Happy is like 10 times better than Hawk, and he plays in Europe. If Happy played in Asia and he played against Enfi, Chemico, Sock, and TH, and every single of these cups, I can guarantee you that Happy wouldn't be 36-2, dude. It's just that Happy's just better than.
Yeah, you
than
can
Hawk,
guarantee
man.
it? That's
Yeah,
weird, because
oh,
your
yeah.
hair say otherwise. 'Cause the last time you bet on a human, he got pooped on,
Yeah.
and then you had to dye your hair.
Yeah.
CrunCher, like
I'm convinced about that, my friend.
we talked about how close human and undead might be. Like, do you also think that Happy is 10 times better than Hawk?
Well, Happy's definitely way better than Hawk. I think these stats probably like show that a little bit the matchup is more favored towards Undead because, you know, there's no way Hawk should be this bad against Happy. Yeah, Happy's gonna have a way better win rate and way better series, and he's a better player, so sure he'll have an advantage. But when you're 95 versus 5 somebody, and like I mean, Hawk is obviously no pushover. I mean, he's beaten Infi, he's beaten TH. I'm pretty sure at like WCG or something. He got 4th place.
Yeah.
Beating them. So I mean, he's definitely no pushover. He should have better stats versus this. I mean, at some point, it probably becomes like Hawk just loses confidence. He doesn't think he'll be happy anymore, so he kind of just gives up, or maybe he doesn't try as hard as he should be. Because you see Happy lose quite often, like some maps to like player C. You would think he would 2-0 pretty easily. I mean, he went 3-2 versus Spiral. He dropped a map to X-Lord, dropped a map to some other Vortex. Yeah. So I would expect it to be a little closer than what it is right here.
SSM?
Yeah, like I said, I think there's many different routes human loses this matchup, and if you're not on the same skill level as the undead, I think it's just easier for the undead to expose like the human weaknesses. So like I kind of agree with INSUP though. Like I think Hawk isn't at the same tier as Happy is. So I'm like, of course Hawk's great and amazing and stuff. But again, like I think if we were watching like Happy and like versus Soccer, Happy versus Infi, and we did like a super long series, I think the stats would look a little more maybe still in favor of Happy a little, but I think it'd be a lot better.
Yeah. Happy has 71 and 8 versus Foggy.
Yeah. I think just like the Europeans have like a middle block.
Game.
Happy now, he's like the king out there, so they're just like, I can't beat this guy, and
I don't know if it's a mental block, they're still practicing a lot and they're trying to beat him, but
yeah, like if you're Hawk though and you lose like every like grand finals to Happy like 0-3 or something, that's gotta like kind of mentally hurt you, right? Like a little, yeah. So I don't know.
Sure.
So Jason?
Yeah, I think SSM made a really good point, which I feel like execution in the human versus undead matchup is a little bit easier to be consistent for the undead. The human has to juggle a lot of things, and I think CrunCher mentioned also you could just randomly lose your Archmage.
Yeah, you just like lose.
So whether or not the balance could be closer to balanced, but it's harder to be consistent. Therefore, if another player is better than you on the undead side, it's easier for him to just keep picking you apart. So I think Happy is a lot, maybe not like, Hawk is very good, but Happy is really, really good on a different level. And because of that, and then in the matchup, it's easier for him to be consistent. So therefore, I think it's easy for him to just keep winning every game. And then that's why it's and then there's also the mind game issue. I think it's just in his head. So yeah, so I think that's the reason personally.
INSUP? Did you want to add anything or?
Not really. I mean,
who didn't speak yet? I lost.
I pretty much said my point already earlier. I said, the reason like why Happy beats Hawk is because Happy is just better than Hawk in general, I feel. And like I said, if you play those tournaments and there was like Sock, Chemico, TH, Enfi, maybe like some other Chinese human, I'm pretty sure Happy wouldn't be like 36-2. Pretty sure like he would lose to TH and Enfi, and the stats would definitely not be as one-sided as they are right now. So I feel like it's more just like Happy being above everyone. Like, let's say you take out Happy of Europe and you bring in Lin. Like, let's say Lin moves to Germany and he starts playing in Europe. Like, Lin's gonna have like the same style almost against everybody in Europe. Like, he's just gonna dominate against Foggy. He's gonna dominate against Hawk. Or if you take TH.
Yeah, right now, because Orc is fucking OP.
You know? yeah, I know it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like Happy's just way better than everyone else in Europe.
Happy's 4-2 against TH, by the way.
Yeah, the last couple times they met.
I mean, it's 11-8 maps. It's like
a while, though.
a lot of it's been a while since they played though. But yeah.
But Happy plays with a lag deficit.
Oh, that's true. That's true. He plays a lag.
Like, at least when he plays against Infi, you can say, okay, well, Infi had ping advantage, but Infi human against Happy is only 2-0 in series as well.
What's like 120 versus Sock, or like 120 versus Chainmika, or 120 versus Infi or TH? Like, they play a lot more often, right? And they're also within the same region. I feel like that's going to be better to look at.
120 is 11-2 against Sock.
Okay.
Like all of these games were played like in the like.
He's 14-8 against TH, but like a lot of these games, TH played other races.
Yeah.
So I think it might be pretty close, maybe if we only take the human of TH. But then again, you might ask the question: why is he playing other races?
There's a lot of shit in China when these guys play each other that like seems like I wouldn't want to accuse them, and they seem like nice guys and all, but it seems like match fixing a lot of the time when these Chinese players play each other.
I think if they're deep in tournaments, they split the prize, so there's less.
It's something weird goes on at the finals, yeah, because the finals they always look so bad or something. I'm like, what's happening?
They're going like Firelord first, and like what was that when 120 went Elf? Like when he just dived in with the Zeppelin to have his base.
Yeah. He just
like he was outplaying him, and then he was like just leaves. Like that looks like match fixing to me.
Yeah.
Like it looks like complete bullshit. So I don't know. I don't even know if I trust the stats of China versus China, but you know.
Do you guys know if like NetEase has a similar stat breakdown like War 3 Champions did, so we can like see the overall win rates of like the top like 50 players or something? Because that'd be really interesting. Because a lot of games are played. Yeah. I don't know. It'd be cool to look at.
Yeah, that'd be really
I don't know if NetEase does the same kind of thing.
Okay, so shall we take some questions then from the chat? If you guys want to ask something, it is time for the Q&A, guys. We won't take too many. I think we're almost going on 3 hours here. Just a very few questions, and then we'll do shoutouts, and I'll let you guys, I guess, not go to sleep because it's not late for you yet. It's late for me.
Valorant.
Yeah, it's late for you.
Valorant, sure.
Oh, God.
Valorant.
Okay, so if you guys got questions, now is the time. Go ahead in the chat. I'll try my best to keep up with everything. Best undead of all time. I'm curious what you guys think because all the other races are pretty clear. Insup.
Oh my god. I mean, probably like Happy or 120. Honestly, I feel like Happy and 120 has like reached the highest level that we've ever seen in undead history. I feel like it really brought the race to like another level. It's hard to say, man, because like you can't take away what Ted did back then and what Lucifer did and Fob and Sweet. So like you know, like back then I wasn't playing. So like for me, like I've seen Happy like do it like all over again and always win and stuff. So man, it's really hard to say, man. Like I want to say Happy as the highest kill undead ever, but you know, like Ted also like did innovate a little bit back then, like when undead versus orc was like impossible. He bring out like his Banshee stat.
Banshees, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. In WCG, fly. Oh man, it's hard, dude. Honestly, like it's boring. I'm actually gonna have to say Happy. Like I just have to say Happy. That's what it is for me.
CrunCher?
Yeah, I'd say Happy or 120. If we're like an old school, probably Ted or Lucifer.
SSM?
I think I'll go with Ted, just because like I think he's the only one that won like the World Cyber Games back in the day when like undead was like considered really bad, you know, like worse. So I'll go with Ted.
Carsonnn?
Ted for sure. But in terms of like improved players, like because 120 was just like this Terra guy, and he played like 40 iFang Cups, and he was like mediocre. And then out of nowhere, he just became like the greatest player in the world for like a couple of years. So I think in terms of like improvement from being like a a Hurricane Bow level player to being the best in the world. Like we never seen that before with anyone. So 120 in terms of like talent, but Ted's my favorite and Ted's a legend. So Ted.
Ted's a legend.
Jason?
It's Ted, and then a close second's probably Fob for me.
5, man. The goal master.
Yeah, in where's Happy on this? In earnings, actually, I can show that.
Oh yeah, who's the highest earning? Probably Happier.
In earnings, in terms of undeads, where the hell is
Sweet.
Happy? He's not even that high up there. He's down there, 104k. We got
Ah.
120 and 105k. So right now, 120's got more.
Well, how much was GCS or whatever he won? I think it was called GCS when he won. It was like 40k or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And also, he didn't get paid for that, so we need to remove that from.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Bullshit, man.
Yeah, but like 120 is in China where like tournaments are jacked up in prize money. So yeah, he plays in Europe, and for a long time he didn't travel to China to play tournaments.
Yeah,
So,
but
like,
he's also
of course,
collecting free wins for $100 every weekend twice.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I don't know. It feels like
He's like on welfare at this moment. All right. And actually,
Free money every
we got
week.
Lucifer Sweets in 15s and 16s here with 81k and 80k, and we got Fov 20 seconds, 52k. I don't know who I would call. I feel like historically I've been very impressed by Fov. To me, he was like an iconic player of the game who was like
Yeah, man.
at the time where Undead wasn't necessarily doing well. He was like a god. He won the SWC. And he had like some sick results in tournaments. He was on the scariest Undead for me to ever have to play against. So I would rank him very high. But obviously 120, Ted, and Happy, they also got very valid arguments for kind of being it as well. Okay, there was another question. Somebody asked me if Happy was ever going to come on the show. I've already asked him. He said no. I feel like at this point, if for Happy to be on the show, somebody has to go on his stream and then ask him how much money he would want to be on the show, and then somebody has to donate money for him to come on the show. But I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know if he'd still be interested, but he's clearly not very interested. He only does things for money, basically. So, and I don't have a budget to pay him.
FFA requests.
Yeah, probably more because it lasts quite a bit. Then again, I guess FFA can last a long time as well. So
Yeah, like an hour. So.
yeah. I'll leave it to you guys to convince him. I don't really want to be bothered to
Yeah.
always ask him. Like he said no to me, I think twice or something already. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it for now.
it would be nice if he came on the show. Like, I've actually like listened to the stream a little bit, and like sometimes like the rare times he speaks English, he tries to explain something. I feel like it's always like super helpful and like super interesting. Like, he
Yeah.
has like definitely like some opinions that we haven't heard from him because he's never like on talk shows and stuff. So I would be really like interested to see like what a good player like him like thinks of the game right now and what needs to be changed and stuff like that. I think that would bring. I'm sure he will bring like some really arguments that maybe like people didn't think about or whatever because he's pretty skilled and he can just
Say so asked Todd, if human vs undead is in for undead, why do we never see worse undead beat better human? Every day on my stream, what the fuck? We never see Hawk lose weaker undead or Sock, Chemico, Romantic ever lose to anyone but Happier and 120, yet we see a lot of worse. For example, human beat elf and worse orc beat undead. I'm gonna blame this on you being from the land down under and probably not watching every tournament, but Hawk has lost to a shit ton of undeads. Like literally a lot of them. He's lost series to like Terror, Sides, and no offense to them, they're good players, but I definitely rank Hawk above these guys. And I also don't rank Hawk as being a far worse player than Happy. So that's why I'm so outraged about the 36-2 that is proudly sporting against Happy. Yeah, so he's lost to a lot of undeads for sure. And I spoke with him before and he thought the exact same as I do about human versus undead. Sadly, that's not what he said on the show when he came on. Okay, if you guys see any questions, just bring them up as well. Todd, are there any other players do you really want to have on your show that you haven't had already, or a Blizzard employee? I think having some Blizzard employees would be amazing. I really hope that down the line it's going to happen. I've already had a lot of really cool people. I think getting some Korean and Chinese players would be nice. And then also getting like, I guess Happy would be nice to have on, maybe Grubby. Yeah, that's about it. I think a lot of Chinese and Korean players, like for some of them, it might be doable. So I'm kind of working on that right now.
Maybe even some like StarCraft guys with Warcraft guys, and like just talk about esports in general. possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing themes shows kind of now. Like we had the map maker last time, then today was like a full NA show, and the next one is going to be with old school players with short round wizards, Vancor, and Creolofus. So
Crayon's
yeah.
coming.
Nice one.
Oh man,
That's awesome.
Sick
I gotta
lineup.
watch that one. Yeah.
It's not a question, but somebody said Bidou died due to starvation after donating all his money to Eagles.
Totally true.
Vito75 in the chat.
I see Courageous in the chat said, for CrunCher and INSUP, how would you guys compare the competition in the first season of Dust League compared to the current season? That's a good question, actually. I feel like the first season, like a lot of people didn't know about the event or didn't care. Like me, for example, I wasn't playing. And I feel like season 3 I had like the highest skill lineup. We had like HRG playing, like Kaki playing. I also like joined the lineup as well. I think it actually got a little bit better, and you definitely like saw some players like improve, like Divine. You know, I feel like Divine kind of had like a breakthrough moment in Dust League. So I would say like the skill level is a bit better than it was in the first season. Even the season has like a lot of players that like dropped out and they want to play like Pride, Duck, HTRT, FKOC dropping out as well. So I feel like this season is a little bit like weaker than it was in the last one, but it's definitely like improving for sure. It's nice to see like those new players like coming and try to do something as well, or just old players coming back and having a chance to compete. Like Sonky qualifying, I think is pretty nice. But I still feel like the level this season is not the best.
Yeah, I think also this season, I agree with INSUP. The season's probably a little weaker than last season because we had a bunch of dropouts. So we also have like the top 4 or 8 players. And I think for the most part, in most of the groups, there's like one clear favorite to advance, and the next 3 are kind of like a toss-up. I think that's because a lot of them are like not as they haven't like proven themselves to be like top NA players yet. Maybe I mean it could change, in this season or next season or over time, but at the moment, I definitely think this is probably like the second weakest season besides the first, maybe. But it's good too because you can see a lot of people who can improve or change and get better and give you motivation to practice.
Carsonnn?
Yeah, it's more about narrative, I think, than actual the caliber of play. It's nice to see, like all the top players like INSUP and Hitman and CrunCher and hopefully Longwalk in the future, people like that to play. But really, it's like about like a story. I think people are more interested in because if you want to go see the top players, you can just go watch, Infeed play every night or whatever, and they stream every night and all that to see like the top caliber. But it's more about the stories, Divine getting through, will Raven make it through, that sort of shit, and you're following the players that you know and you play, at least if you're in NA. So I think it's more about that. But I think the caliber is all right. The less people drop out, the better it will be. I think probably season 2 was maybe the strongest, season 3. But we're getting new people, Sonky, PogChamp to that, and hopefully Raven can make it through because I think he's really talented. So slowly but surely, and the less people drop out, the better, right? Hopefully FK's back and Longwalk joins next season.
I got a question. Why don't you guys make the tournament 32 players? There's definitely enough players in North America for that. I would love to see Soulglider, Sosorryman in there, Lado, like all of these guys. I think that'd be good for the tournament.
Well, we do have 2 qualifiers that we streamed as well that had I think 32 each qualifier.
Yeah.
But it's really up to Bidou, man. I tell him a lot of stuff and he doesn't listen, so it's really up to him.
Called out. All right. SSM or Jason, do you guys want to add anything to that?
About Dust League? For me, I think it's interesting. It's really sad to see so many people dropping out, but hopefully in the next month, the scene gets a little bit stronger and the next qualifier is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Carsonnn said, it's like more fun for us NA guys just to watch the players that we've kind of met on ladder or been in small tournaments with, to watch them kind of grow and see how well they can do, because I don't think anybody in NA is really debating who the top 3 players are. We know it's Hitman, CrunCher, and stuff. We all kind of know this, and we're just I think we've all kind of accepted it. I know some people are hungry out there, they're practicing a lot, but it's we know they're gonna do probably really well in their group, or probably just be in the grand finals, like all the other seasons. But it's kind of fun watching all those the other guys that are kind of coming up, to see if they can, how well they can do against other people that are the top 16 or something.
Constrive said in the chat, 32 players would be cool, but round of 32 would be really one-sided. Maybe it will be, but even if you get like 1 or 2 upsets, that's already like really nice for the tournament.
Yeah.
And all of these guys, they get their chance to get a little bit of spotlight, which is really what it's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
about. So as long as there is
would
enough
help.
players, I personally think
help
that'd
to
be
see.
really cool. I'd love to see like you guys, Sosorryman as well, Soulglider, Lado playing there. Freaking Lado needs to be in there too.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, and also, why don't you try not pulling out next time, douchebag? Okay, so Rainbows Yay asked, can I ask about keybinds, Todd? Can you still not use custom keybinds in tournaments? Does anyone use the new grid key bindings? I don't think they're forbidden. Like personally, I play with pretty much default hotkey from both the French and US version. It's like a hybrid version of like a mix of both. And the reason for that is that when I started playing, I played with the French game, so I got used to French hotkeys. And then when I started traveling, it was English game everywhere. So I had to kind of make it work, and I ended up with that. But what about you guys? Do you play with grids or any specific hotkeys? Everything
Yeah, I
default.
changed all my hotkeys. I actually changed like all like the first spell on each unit and heroes. Like it's like coil, it's like a W, because it feels like it makes it easier for me to transition with group number 1 to W. Like the keys are literally next to each other on the keyboard. So it's like really easy to like just do like cold Nova and press tab and just like make that combo, everything. Also like surrounding is Q, because like I said, like I feel like he goes a lot, and then you press like the 1 key, and then Q is literally next to 1, so it makes it like really easy to have like a fast transition with like 1 to Q and try like to go for a surround like as soon as possible or something. So yeah, also like I've like the second spell of every unit or every hero is E, so WE, you know, they're next on the keyboard. So like everything just make like the life easier. And as well, like sometimes if I play like other races and I don't know like the odd key by heart, I know it's gonna be WE because it's like that for everything. So I feel like it makes it like so much more easier. Like even if you're trying to learn the game and try to learn the odd keys, I feel like if you change everything to 2 or 3 odd keys for everything, it makes it like so much more easy to like just remember everything by heart instead of like having everything like split on your keyboard and you were trying to surround it's the M key, and M key is just kind of awkward to press on because like almost like have to use your thumb, whatever. Like I don't know, it's like so far from number 1, number 2, number 3 groups on your keyboard. So I feel like changing hotkeys like that is like a really, really like it honestly made me like so much better instantly when I did that, and I feel like it's kind of underrated and people should try it more maybe.
What about you guys? Anybody uses different hotkeys or?
Yeah, I use grid. Yeah, QWER is my spells, and then like building, like a production building. Q will be footman, Z is defend, W is rifleman, X is long rifles, and so on.
Yeah, I'm something kind of similar, but I do QWER and then upgrades are ASD, F, etc. So like it just looks like what it looks like on the thing, on the picture.
Carsonnn?
Yeah, I use Q for surround, of course, because why wouldn't you? You have to use Q for surround. I changed Invis when I play human to E because it was I, and I changed Purge or Lightning Shield from I think it was L to E, and then all my macro keys are grid. So I could never remember the attack upgrade commands or anything. So I just changed everything to grid for all my building units and upgrades and everything. And I changed stuff around because I use my right hand on my keyboard. I don't know if that switches stuff. I used to use item hotkeys and stuff in it because my fingers don't reach some keys, so I switched around. But
all right, Stone Cold Hands asked Todd, "Have you asked Hitman to be on your show?" Honestly, I've asked everybody. Like, I can't think, and maybe that's the problem of a person I haven't asked to be on the show. Like, I've asked literally everybody in the scene that I could think of, including some Chinese, some Korean players. Like, I've been talking to so many people. So if you haven't seen somebody on the tunnel, that might be because they declined. Yeah.
people are shy.
That's sad.
Like Kiwi
Yeah,
Kaki does
people
not want to
are
talk
shy.
publicly, for example, even though I think it'd be hilarious on the show. So what can you do? I can't force him to be on it, right? You guys see any questions? This guy keeps
didn't
asking why
ask
Dust
me.
didn't invite Lado.
Hasn't that like been on like 10 times?
Didn't he? He just had a kid.
No,
just
no, I
like
mean
FK.
to Dust League.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, the
Just had a
child as
kid.
well. All the night elves are getting children.
And we were
So
trying to
that's-
invite people that well, at least I said we should invite people that played the qualifiers, at least. Not that Bidu listened to me, but that's what I think about invites. It should be people that are grinding a lot,
Yeah.
putting a lot of effort in. showing results and played both the qualifiers, so that people won't just dodge the qualifiers and then join like Saron, like just doesn't play both qualifiers and then gets all of his New Zealand friends to say invite him, and spam us, and then he does what he does. So I think you should put the work in and then get an invite.
Honestly, I think invites are stupid. You got to prove yourself
Agreed.
in qualifiers.
Agreed. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think if someone drops out, just whoever was next in line in the qualifier probably should just auto get the slot.
100%
yeah.
agree.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
tell Bidu this. I've been telling him this for 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's kind of like almost disrespectful for the player who's like trying to get in for like a few seasons, and then like he was like just one spot from being like in the top 16, and then somebody drops out and then he doesn't get an invite. I feel like that's kind of like disrespectful to the players who are like working hard and trying to prove themselves and everything, and then you just invite Hunter, who's like a guy who's like kind of left the community for a while. Like I'm not saying it's like his fault because he had to work and everything. Like Hunter is clearly like not in the community as much. And even though he's got like a great level, I feel like I would have loved to see like more like someone who's like been trying to get in for a few seasons or yeah.
The narrative again is more important
The
than
narrative,
Hunter just
eh?
destroying everyone. It's about getting players that we know, and then the narrative. It's more entertaining for everyone. It's better for the PR. It's better for people because they like it more, and people see their friends play. I 100% agree.
Kozu Bloody asked most Imba hero in game.
TC.
I think we all agree on that.
Actually, I'm gonna do like one per matchup because I feel like some of these guys they can also rival one another. Like overall, it'd probably be TC, but against Orc it's clearly TC. Even though Blade Master still gives me nightmares. Against Night Elf Warden and against Undead, I think the Dreadlord is very heavily underrated for how good it is with like Dreadlord Expo and then just Carrion Swarm and stuff. Insup.
For Undead, I feel like I don't know, man. DK or Dreadlord probably for Undead. I see like Dreadlord can be like kind of annoying to play against because like one Carrion Swarm is like one heal scroll and everything. So yeah, also like Dreadlord, and then for Orc, obviously TC. I think that's a no-brainer right there. For Night Elf, I find like good Wardens to be definitely like annoying, but I'll say like Demon Hunter. Honestly, I don't know. For some reason, I'm kind of like not too bad against Warden. I kind of know like how to abuse it and play aggressive early. So that's like Demon Hunter for Elf. But yeah, it could be a Warden as well. And for Human, man, you're gonna hate me, Todd, but dude, I hate MK, man. I hate the MK.
Why would I hate you?
like-
That's what I expect you to say.
No,
Like,
yeah,
you're gonna be like Blood Mage? I'm like, what?
No.
Korea, man.
I could have said like Archmage, though. Like Archmage is kind of like a really good hero as well with the mana or everything. But yeah, I'll say MK. I think
Archmage is a
would
piece
do
of shit. I
kinda
think we'll
annoying
agree on
and-
that.
Yeah, MK.
CrunCher?
For Undead, I'd say Lich. He just has like infinite mana, and then the Nova range is such long range, and the AoE is huge as well. And then it's also good care for like orb and auto attack damage. Human, probably MK. Clap just needs like a unit cap or something, I think. Orc, TC, Stomp is just too ridiculous, and the Orb just gives them too much movement speed to move around the map. And Night Elf, Warden, her level 6 ultimate, like there's no counter to it. Once you get 6, you just can't literally do anything, which is stupid. Everything should have a counterplay, so something should be changed with that as well.
Carsonnn?
TC, Demon Hunter, Lich, and
SSM.
Are we doing our own race too?
I wasn't gonna, but then Insup was like talking about Undead Heroes. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? So I don't know, maybe up to you.
No, you don't know.
Okay, I'll just do it the other ways. Orc, I'm saying TC. Undead, Lich, the Frost Nova has no unit cap. I think it's like one of the only ones that it's like a long range AoE spell that doesn't have a unit cap, like in an instant, like there's no animation, you know. So, and for Night Elf, oh boy, it's like for me split between like Demon or Warden. They're both still really good.
Jason?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with TC for sure. For Orc, Warden, for some reason, the CrunCher, I don't like that there's a timer on the game. Once he hits 6, the game feels like very often it's just over if he gets the ult and use it really well.
Yeah.
And then Lich, same reasons. I like the no animation and then like a lot of single target and then AoE slow just feels like it kind of does everything. and like it's really hard to counter it because it's instant. So it's really strong. So I think Lich, and then Human. MK is just a beast. I think if I just rate it overall, I honestly think MK is like the strongest hero in the game. But I know a lot of people won't agree with me. But it's really hard to utilize. So that's why like very often it's suppressed because he has to be a really high level. But I think MK is the strongest hero in the game.
Nice.
7 Negative asked, Todd, can everyone quickly rank their top 3 favorites 1v1 maps in sub?
I don't know, like on a spot like that. I love Amazonia, man. I actually love Amazonia because you can do like aggressive on it. It's like a very small map. It's easy to get like level 2, level 3 if you play DK goals, which I love to do. You can like creep the Merc Camps items early. You can get like Zombie Mask or whatever. So it's like maybe first map like AZ. Second one maybe like Conceal Hills. I think it's a pretty nice map. It feels like green maps in general are just more enjoyable. Like I don't know, like Conceal Hills are like Elephantines as well. I think it's pretty cool. The creeps are like not too annoying. At least for me. Maybe for Human with the poison, it's another story. But yeah, so that's like Amazonia, Conceal Hills, and third map. Man, I don't know about third map. I feel like I only love AZ and Conceal Hills, honestly. Third map, I'll say like the last refuge probably, but I'm not like a big fan or anything. So it's like AZ, I love it a lot. Conceal Hills, like I love it too. LR is like just kind of meh. Everything else garbage. GM's garbage. TS garbage. They're macro maps, and I don't like macro maps.
Northern, what do you think?
Notionals, I think Notionals is kind of it's a good map, but I'm not a big. I don't know. It can be quite annoying late game on Notionals. Like let's say you play against Human in the Expo, like they can just like buy auras at the market, and then late game like Human has like DK aura, TC aura, and everything. So it's kind of I'm not a big fan of Notionals, but it's alright, I guess. You know, it's not bad. I guess it's just like I just like big maps in general because there's like a lot of it in running expansions and like macro games. I'm more of like kind of like in your face type of style. So those maps doesn't like really benefits how I like to play Warcraft.
CrunCher?
Overall, my favorite was probably Melting Valley, even though it wasn't like really balanced. It was just a nice change of pace. In the current map pool, I like TS just because it's different than the typical play style. You usually have like tier 3, a lot of heroes, high levels, even though it's more macro based and things like that. It favors Human a little bit. And then my last one would probably be Northern Isles is kind of cool. It's a bit different than the usual maps. I like the marketplace as well.
Jason?
If you're talking old time, honestly, and I know it's very unpopular, but I really like Turtle Rock. And one of the biggest reasons was there were a lot of like interesting options for militia creeping. Like there was a lot of like tricky things you could do, like to juke people. So I thought there was a lot of interesting creep routes on Turtle Rock, even though like it's not a very balanced map. And I'd like to see that more in the map pool. Like I feel like there's not as much interesting militia creeping that's happening in a lot of the maps that as compared to what it used to be. But out of the maps currently, I'd probably say Northern Isles is probably one of my favorite maps. It feels pretty balanced. There's some interesting, creep routes you can do. You can take the expansion like right away or later. So Northern Isles is probably my favorite. And then after that, I don't know. The rest of them are just pretty equal for me, except for TS. I really don't like that map. I don't like just like let's just all expand and then go late game. So
SSM?
I'm gonna say TS, LV, or actually I like the old TS, like the old one. That was fun.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I know, right?
Not me. Oh no.
Yeah, the old TS, EI, yeah, and I guess Northern Isles out of the new ones.
Carsonnn?
I'd say the top 3 best maps in terms of like most balanced gameplay and also like for like entertaining games: Last Refuge, Northern Isles, and New TS. And problems with each of them: New TS, too many consumables, too many like mana stones and shit like that.
Oh yeah.
Last Refuge, the creep pull is dumb. Like even at Anaheim, like I pulled the golem and then the green camp pulled on and killed all my militia. Like what the fuck? They gotta fix that AI. Northern Isles, I don't know if they should have a marketplace, and I don't know if they should have one shop. But if they fix that, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe one shop is a good thing. Some matchups it's a bit toxic, and on netties it's toxic because now that you can just hold one button down, you just hold N down and it spams command. it's just a ping race to see who gets the involved in heal scroll.
Yeah.
Those are a problem with each of the maps, but I'd say in terms of balance and entertainment, Last Refuge, Northern Isles, TSLB.
Okay, 2 more questions, and then we'll do some shout-outs, guys. It's been a long
Right.
show. Reanimated asked, Todd, out of 6 of you, what secondary game, if there is one, you play? Poker. You guys?
Hold on. I say question.
Yeah,
Teamfight Tactics, that's for me.
yeah, what's the
Which one?
secondary game that you play other than Warcraft 3?
Right now, like I play like a little bit of Valorant, but like it kind of like switches a little bit. Like I was kind of like into Overwatch like a month ago a little bit. So I would say like right now it's probably Valorant, but like I haven't played in a while. I actually don't play like a second game much. Most of the time I just play like platform games, like a Hollow Knight or like games like that. You know, like more like just chill type of games instead of like trying to be like competitive in other games. Because like Warcraft is like kind of like try hard stuff. So
Yeah.
like sometimes I just like to like take it easy and just play like a game where you have like collectibles and you just chill and nothing too like crazy. So
CrunCher?
Valorant.
I play tons of other games. I play other games more than I play Warcraft 3. Right now, I've been playing Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I was playing some WoW, some Valorant. I was playing PoE before. Just tons of games. I mean, I play pretty much anything I find interesting. RPGs are a big one.
SSM?
I was playing like some WoW Classic when that came back out, and then like otherwise, if I play Company of Heroes 2. It's like another RTS that's like I'd say as good as Warcraft 3, like like competitively. So like when I'm kind of getting tired of Warcraft 3, I'll go over there and play some of that.
So every day.
yeah.
Carsonnn?
I'll take shifts.
I've sort of always, like, I started gaming in, like, grade 2. I've always played Counter-Strike. Like, I played Source when that came out. And I've always sort of played, like, competitive in that game. I'm, like, a little bit better than Warcraft and CS, so still really bad. But, yeah, I play that a lot. I actually played, plays Warcraft. I played Doug Polk. Is that the poker player? I played his Counter-Strike team, which was interesting because he also plays Warcraft. But, yeah, I play that. I'm not playing this season of, it's called ESEA. But next season probably. So I play CS a lot.
Okay, last question. This one's from me. What is more important for Blizzard to add to Warcraft 3 right now? East server or reconnect feature after a disconnect?
Easy one. East server 100%.
And then we're still disconnecting like shit. Continue game.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like
We're
I haven't
used to
like
it.
personally disconnected very often. I see like some people like having these issues, but I feel like I don't know. Each server would be kind of nice. Maybe like some people like don't really care about like anniversary up type of thing. But
What if I throw balance in there as a third option? Still East servers?
Yeah, that could be nice. Like they could keep like the game interesting, and every time there's like balance patches, it feels like it brings back people to the game.
No,
Like,
I
every
mean
time.
like if you have 3 choices, you only get
Okay.
one wish. Balance, East server, or reconnect feature.
I'll say balance, man. I love new stuff. I love new stuff. No, it's true. I love new stuff, man. I love like
Yeah.
seeing other heroes get buff and everything. They made that changing. It's really nice. Balance.
Jason?
Oh boy.
Didn't expect that one,
yeah.
did you?
No, I didn't. Yeah, throwing balance in there, it just changes it up a lot and makes things like more lively. So I'd say balance probably.
CrunCher?
I'd say balance. I also have DCs to make that like a top priority over like balance or East server. And the East servers, whatever. Like, yeah, I can play some games, but balance would just change up the game and make it way more interesting. It does way more fun.
SSM?
Yeah, it'd be pretty close for me. Balance patch or like getting rid of the desyncs or the DCs. So like yeah, I'd probably still say balance though first if they had to like choose one of those 3.
Carsonnn?
Well, if the desyncs are still like a big problem, I'd say that's most important. I haven't had any issues in like Dust League. We haven't had any DCs. Obviously at Anaheim we did, but like competitive integrity is number one if we want to be an esport, which we barely are at the moment. But if we want to get there, then that's important. But if not, if they're not a big problem, balance.
Yeah, I feel like the East servers are important, but we can still like go on without them. Same without the. I mean, to be honest, the balance is like if the game could stay like this, and they would add East servers, and it still would be an improvement, and I'd be happy. It's kind of hard to rank these. It feels like they're all kind of important. I kind of wish they all would happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'd pick balance number 1, and then reconnect number 2, and East number 3. But the East is still super important, like an East server.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna keep on bringing it up. Like one day it's gonna happen. At the same. On one hand, I'm like desperate, and I feel it's never gonna happen. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I need to keep hope. Like it needs to come. All right, guys, it was a great show. Let's do some shout outs.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on. Let people know where they can find you, where they should follow you, whether it's Twitter, Twitch, anything else. Jason, go first.
Yeah, Soulglider42 on Twitch, and I'm Soulglider on. Soulglider on Twitch and Soulglider42 on Twitter. I might start streaming sometime soon here. I was waiting a bit, but yeah, probably sometime like next week I'll start streaming, so you might be able to see me.
Carsonnn.
Yep. Shout out to Team Dust. Shout out to all the boys. Shout out to Bidu. It took a lot of flack today, but
He deserves it.
you do it to yourself. Yeah, you do it to yourself. Shout out to Dust League this Friday and Saturday at, I think you said 2 a.m. European time, but 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern. You tune into me and Bidu being idiots as always. Shout out to Flame beating Bidu yesterday without a keyboard 2-0. I told him I would mention that.
Oh my god.
Winning $25 American from Bidu's pocket that he works hard for. Carsonnn with 3 N's, C on the end for Twitter. Carsonnn with 3 N's for YouTube. I do some tutorials on occasion. I might do them again in the future. I haven't done them for about a year. And Carsonnn with 3 N's on Twitch. I stream on occasion. And we're on Back to Warcraft on Fridays and Saturdays for Dust League. And thanks to Todd for the invite again.
So was Carsonnn with 3 N's already taken? You had to add 1 C in there for inconsistency?
Yeah, well, it actually was. That's why it has 3 N's in the first place, because 1's always taken.
You should have had a W3 or something. A C, I don't know, man.
That's not my last name. My last name.
Oh, okay. SSM?
Well, shout out to Todd. Thanks for having me on the show. Shout out to my team Washed Up. They've been great and supporting me through this like quarantine, keeping like my social sanity a little bit, having some friends. And if I have a message for Blizzard, if they're watching, one thing they can do to really help just like the 2s and the RT and stuff is they got to add like separate MMRs for 2s teams, like arranged teams, and like RT teams. And if they're not even able to do that, at least let the 2s teams players like have their RT be their MMR. So like that's all they have to do, because it's really like hard for people. Like let's say you're a casual RT player, you come in and you join a game and like you're like 2000 MMR. So then you match an arranged team like me and Mikro. We're like our 2s team for our team, and we have 1500 MMR. There's like no MMR for us. So like they're gonna have to play us, and if they lose, they're going to lose like 80 MMR because we're like below them. So like it crushes like the whole RT scene and like the team games out there. So if they can fix that as soon as possible.
CrunCher?
Yeah, on Twitter I'm CrunCher910. On Twitch I'm CrunCher9. Shout out to Team Washed Up. Oh wait, no, I'm on Dust.
Team Washed Up, let's go.
He's coming over.
Yeah, and I play in Dust League, so you go watch that. And I think I played a week or 2 there. And thanks to Todd for having me on this pretty fun podcast.
Thank you for being on. INSUP.
Yeah, you guys can follow me on Twitch at INSUPERABLE W3. I play some solo undead. I play orc. I play like pretty much every races. Or you guys can also like follow me on Twitter, OCG INSUPERABLE. Shout out to my team as well, ToDGaming. See you guys, and thanks to you as well for the invite. Always cool to be here, and it's nice to have like a little talk show where like people can meet and talk about what's going on in the scene. So thanks for doing that. You're like the only guy that does that. So shout out to you guys as well for being there. Like it was pretty fun.
Are you back live? Are you back live every day on Twitch already?
I don't stream every day. I stream maybe like 4 days a week probably, but I'll be back on track pretty soon. But
yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll put all of your links and all your info under the description on the YouTube VOD, and I'll let you know when it's up. Yeah, have a good day, I guess. For you guys, it's still day.
Thanks so much, Todd.
See you guys
Thanks
around.
for having me on.
Much love, guys.
Bye.
Later.
All right, this was a pretty fun show here with these guys, as always. Give me a second. Thought I had that open. Yeah, Thanks to my guests for joining me as always. We'll make sure that the VOD goes up basically now, and then it will be available to Patreons ASAP and then in 2 days for everybody else. So thanks to my guests for joining me. If you want to find more of their contents, be sure to check them out. If you are enjoying the show, consider supporting us on Patreon. This helps us cover production costs such as podcast hosting and continue providing this content. This podcast is live now on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Podbean, SoundCloud, and many, many more. So if you wish to have this show delivered to you in an audio format, just search for ToD's Town Hall Meeting on your favorite platform. Visit the Patreon page at patreon.com/ToDGaming. Supporters get a YouTube show VODs and podcast emailed to them ASAP. YouTube VODs are public 2 days later. Plus, I've got a few more perks listed on our different tiers, such as priority Q&A questions, Discord perks, monthly replay packs, custom recorded voice message you can use for a stream alert, voicemail greeting, or whatever. Ability to cast votes for the future direction of my tutorial contents, and you can submit replays for me to analyze live on stream, and much more. Check it out. Actually, I did the first replay analysis recently on stream. I recorded it, and I'm going to post it soon on YouTube. I think it was pretty educational. Hop into my Discord and follow my Twitter for updates. Subscribe to YouTube for show VODs and game highlight videos. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you next week.